We were gonna have Hamilton here, but that didn't pan out.
I know. I don't know.
What? So what were you guys gonna? I didn't. You said it like a debate, but I didn't even think it was gonna be a debate. The whole thing was like the Symphosia DEA thing. So Hamilton texted me, said he had Hamilton Morris, for people who were wondering. Yeah. He found that this what is Symphosia? They're somehow DEA informants. This is what he says.
Oh, I don't know that. I mean, he's accusing them of that, but it's just. It's a psychedelic. It really was just a website, a group of people that started a website and were publishing articles about psychedelics. And up until a certain point, it was just the kind of typical stuff you'd find on psychedelics. You know, Dennis McKenna, interview with Dennis McKenna, and studies are showing this.
Pull this thing down a little bit.
And then I think, around the time of Me Too and a lot of the social justice stuff, they started taking a more critical approach to looking at psychedelics and the emerging psychedelic industry. And so it was just a website of articles that were being published, and there is a group of 4, 5, 6 people behind it. And so Hamilton has been going on various podcasts, Andrew Callaghan and others, and looking into their finances and accusing them of various things. But as far as him coming here, it wasn't gonna be a debate.
No, that's right. I didn't think so.
No, just a general discussion. I think it was just talk about psychedelics, whatever's happening in psychedelics.
So why is Symphosia threatening to sue? Are we allowed to say that they're threatening to sue him? I think he already said this on podcasts, right?
Yeah, he showed the papers, the lawyers, the cease and desist letters.
He came on my podcast about I don't know how long, that was like what, 6, 7 months ago? A year ago?
Yeah, about a year ago.
About a year ago?
Last year.
Yeah. And he was talking about this stuff, the Symphosia stuff.
Yeah.
And then they sent him a cease and desist afterwards, said, don't talk about us anymore.
Yeah, well, I think he made a technical mistake. There's a woman, basically, here's what happened. There was an old man who's a Holocaust survivor in the San Francisco Bay Area. He, of course, he's a Holocaust survivor. He's got trauma, PTSD, et cetera, and someone from MAPS, I think they may have been on the board. I don't remember the woman's name. She befriended this man. She gave him MDMA and other psychedelics. He said they profoundly helped him. And then he started giving a lot of money to MAPS. Well, this man's daughter saw it as, hey, there were drugs taking, hanky-panky, now millions of dollars are being exchanged. There's, I guess, the inheritors of the money. The guy's a billionaire. I think they had a problem with that. And so they said, hey, what is this drug company, Bilkin Grandpa or Bilkin Dad? And so they started funding opposition research into MAPS.
Opposition research?
Yeah, and at the same time, MAPS, and it's a very complicated story, but MAPS, which is was a nonprofit, basically the major
MDMA,
major psychedelic clinical trial group. They've been doing trials for 40 years. They've been doing research into psychedelics for 40 years. It was started by Rick Doblin.
Mainly MDMA, wasn't it?
It was mainly MDMA, but they've done other stuff. But it was started by Rick Doblin, who was over at New College in Florida. How far is that from here?
I have no fuck. Oh, is that Sarasota?
Yes, it's Sarasota.
Oh, that's like an hour from here.
Okay, well, Rick Doblin was in Sarasota. He was a New College student. This is where he started all of this MDMA research. Mm-hmm. He became a true believer, and he turned himself into what New York Magazine called the Timothy Leary of the 80s. Yeah. So they put in the NDA, the new drug application, to try to get MDMA approved as a medicine, and all of this controversy erupted. Basically, some members of Symphosia called for a public hearing. So, hey, let the public have input into whether this drug passes or not. And when that happened, a lot of people came forward and said negative things, and several of these people were from the Symphosia organization. So Hamilton Morris is accusing them of sabotaging the drug application for money.
Because Symphosia had a rich dad.
No, it wasn't Symphosia. The woman, Sarlo, the Holocaust survivor billionaire, his daughter gave them some money.
Gave Symphosia?
Yes.
What the fuck is Symphosia, though?
It's just a website. It's a group of people.
It's a website.
It's a group of people. Yeah, pull it up. Like if you put, there you go. This is an investment.
And so the billionaire's daughter gave these folks
Her
money.
name is Susie Sarlo, and we should say this because the reason he got a cease and desist letter is because the Sarlos have all of these, when you got billions of dollars, you have these different philanthropic organizations. Some of them are gained towards this, some of them are towards that, and they have different names. This is the Susie Sarlo Trust. This is the Children's Defense Fund, whatever.
This is like called. like all the shit George Soros funds.
Yes.
The
Open Society Foundation, exactly. And so they fund all kinds of different stuff, and they gave a couple $100,000 to them. For their efforts. Now,
and it's a website.
It's a website, basically.
About psychedelics.
Yes, that publishes like, hey, Steve, would you put in the search bar, put in Travis Kitchens, and you'll see an article they published of mine.
Oh, you work for him?
No, I work for him, yeah. No. No, in 2019, I wrote a very long article. There it is, A Channel for Magic.
Okay.
What's the date on it?
Ralph Hood.
Go down. Ralph Hood is a buddy of mine at University of Tennessee,
you told me about Ralph Hood.
Yeah, there he is, the bottom right-hand corner. That's Ralph Hood. That's his office at University of Tennessee,
Corn-fed redneck.
Exactly. No, he's from Newport Beach, California.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's a psychologist. He is a major figure in the psychology of religion.
Oh, wow.
And he's professor emeritus of religious studies. He's probably the most intelligent. He is by far one of the most intelligent, knowledgeable people I've ever met, and he's cool as hell. You should have him. He is the world's leading authority on serpent handling cults.
Oh yeah, you told me about this guy.
And there's an archive at Chattanooga that you can go. We could go to and watch some of it. You can go to the University of Tennessee Chattanooga's website, go to the Hood repository, whatever it's called, and he filmed hundreds of hours of these people doing it in the mountains of Appalachia. And anybody is free to look at it and use it. And it's people. Some of them in some of the videos, people get bit and died. It's extreme sports. So anyway, in around 2021, 2022, I wrote this article, a profile of Ralph Hood, talking about how important he was to psychedelic research. Because what happened was I did the study at Hopkins, and they give you a bunch of questionnaires after you take the drugs. As the drugs are wearing off, they make you fill out questionnaires about the experience directly after as it's wearing off, right? So I asked, who makes these questionnaires? Ralph Hood. So I said, who the hell is Ralph Hood? I looked him up. World's leading expert in serpent handler. So I went, I'm going to go down to Tennessee and I'm going to talk to him. So I went down and talked to him, and I went, whoa, this guy is badass. So I interviewed him. This is the result. And I pitched it to New York Times Magazine, and they had an interest in it, but they said, look, you can't have serpent handling and psychedelics. Take the psychedelic stuff out. I said, no, that defeats the whole purpose. So they said, we're not interested anymore.
What?
So yeah, they said, you can't have serpent handling and psychedelics. You're going to confuse everybody, because this is an 8,000 word article. It's very long. So when they shot it down, they have if you go to About or something, you'll see you can submit an article. We could write an article on psychedelics right now. We could submit it to them, and if they like it, they'll publish it. So I submitted to them. I didn't know them. And they said, this is great. We will publish it without it being edited, which is what I was looking for. So they published it. They don't pay, but they published it. And, subsequently it was featured in the New York Times. It was featured in some books that, Ivy League University Press books. And so it's been widely read, and I'm as proud of it as anything I've ever written.
Look at that. Right-wing psychedelia at University of Madison, Wisconsin.
I don't know what that is. Click on it.
That's Ammon's University. Hang on, real quick. I want to read that little bio. So this is a bio for Psymposia. They're a 501c3 nonprofit research and media organization that offers critical perspectives on drugs, politics, and culture. We rely on contributions from our readers and listeners, and the billionaire drug lady whose dad was a Holocaust.
Susie Sarlo.
Yeah.
I think we're skating on thin ice even mentioning her, but this is true. Everything we said is true.
Well, you know what happens when these kind of folks send you a cease and desist? Ever heard of Sean Ryan? You see what happened with him?
No.
I sent you a link to it earlier.
Oh, this is the Navy SEAL guy.
Yeah, Sean Ryan's the Navy SEAL podcast.
Okay.
He was talking shit about, he had some lady on his podcast who had a relative who went to this Christian Boy Scout camp. Yeah. I forget what it was called. Google it, Sean Ryan. And allegedly the people that ran this summer camp, this Christian summer camp, were abusing and molesting little boys. And this lady was like blowing the whistle on it. And Sean Ryan did a whole podcast on it. They sent him a cease and desist. He made a video about the cease and desist, and it got like millions of views.
Yeah.
So it's just the Streisand effect. It's just making these people, they're burying themselves.
Yes. Yes. And so the controversy around the MDMA Symposia thing is this.
That's what it is. Camp Kanakuk.
How much of a role did Symposia's efforts, how much did that, what effect did that have on the FDA rejecting it? And the answer to that is nobody knows. Some people say they sunk it, they did it all. The FDA themselves, they published the rejection letter and they said, this is why we rejected it. And they listed a whole bunch of scientific reasons. So nobody knows. Some people say it had no effect whatsoever. Some people say it had a lot of effect. Morris points to the fact that after it was rejected, they did take credit for it. They sent out publicity emails saying, we took the application down, blah, blah, blah. So it's a controversial topic. It's muddy. And this is what Morris is, he's dedicated his time to. And as you said, he published a podcast the other day on Patreon accusing some members of Symposia as being federal informants for the DEA, essentially, I guess, ratting on people that were doing underground MDMA therapy. These are the accusations. I don't know.
Did he get the cease and desist from Symposia or Sarlo's?
No, neither. A letter, a law firm, big time law firm in San Francisco that represents the Sarlo Foundation.
Okay, so it was the Sarlos.
And they said, actually, it wasn't this Sarlo group. It was this other Sarlo group that gave him the money. So technically, you're wrong. And also, they accused him of spinning conspiracy theories and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You know, he has a rather complex, maybe even convoluted narrative around this that he explained on the Andrew Callaghan show, of which he has evidence for some of it, and some of it may be speculation. They say it's a conspiracy theory. It's a mess. But you can see the stakes you can see why people are emotionally invested. This is a consequential thing. This is the passage of a drug therapy of which some people, say Jonathan Lubecky, who's a veteran who's involved in the psychedelic world, says, look, this shit saved my life. And there's a lot of other people who will tell you that it saved their life, and that this drug, that MDMA, if it passes, could literally save their lives. You know, we have a serious problem in this country with veterans committing suicide. In the aftermath of the Iraq War, at one point it was 22 a day, which is kind of hard to wrap your head around. You know, my brother's a veteran, my dad's a Vietnam veteran, both of my granddads were in World War II. My whole family are veterans going back to the Revolutionary War.
That's crazy.
So, you know, I have sympathy for this, and I do think I don't know enough. I haven't looked through the science on MDMA. My interest is in psilocybin, what you call the classic psychedelics, and the Hopkins study. So I don't know if what the FDA said about the flaws in the trials were legitimate or not. Some people said yes, they were. Other people said no, they weren't. So it's kind of hard to tell.
So this Symposia group is specifically doing like counter operations against all this stuff. Like they're reporting on all the negative aspects of it and trying to debunk it.
I would say they were providing a critical perspective, much of which was legitimate. I mean, these were it's just reporting into the psychedelic field. But I think where they got into trouble is some of it was infused with hardcore leftist politics and some of the Me Too type orientation and social justice activism, et cetera, et cetera. So it wasn't just reporting like this person did this and this person did this. They are coming and they will tell you very much, we are coming from a left-wing political perspective, you know, which is not in the media landscape that we live in currently. You know, contemporary media landscape is not that unusual.
No. It's just weird to like be coming out right and saying it. We come from a left-wing perspective. Usually those people try to like say they're coming from a neutral perspective.
Well, if you work for, but they're an independent group. I mean, if you work for the Washington Post, which, you know, RIP, 3 days / 300 people yesterday, or you work for one of these legacy media institutions, you definitely don't want to say that. You want to act, look, we're neutral.
Right.
There's no bias. We don't have a political perspective. I mean, everybody knows it's not true, but
right, exactly.
You have to at least pretend.
At least you got to pretend.
Yeah,
exactly.
Right.
But they're not even pretending.
No, because it's an independent, you know, I'm trying to think, you know, you got all of these magazines, like leftist magazines. There's a tradition of these. In These Times, Dissent. These are old-timey labor magazines. Ramparts, they're magazines that come out of that 60s radical milieu. You know, so these things have been around for a long time. And you have right wing. I mean, you have the Claremont Review of Books. You have the Lamp. You have all kinds of right wing magazines that are like, you know, like First Things, and that say, look, we're conservative or right wing, and this is our perspective. It's, you know, whatever. I like to read from both.
Yeah.
Personally, I read widely in all of these things.
Yeah.
Less and less the left wing stuff because it's just become boring. But you know, when it's just inundated in everything, you start to be like, okay, I already know what this article is going to say. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
My favorite part about winter is I get to wear my rag and bone pants. I've been wearing their clothes for a while, but their infused denim is on a whole nother level. My style has changed, my body has changed, and I don't care for stiff, cardboard feeling jeans anymore. When I put on their infused denim for the first time, it honestly ruined all my other jeans for me. I'm wearing them right now. The fit is actually perfect. They're soft, they're stretchy. I can skate in them. I can be casual around the house with them. I can do anything, and they're not too baggy. They're not too skinny. They're just the perfect fit, and they don't shrink too much when you put them in the wash. They move with you, they keep their shape, and they develop character the longer you wear them. And no matter what your style is, slim, straight, relaxed, or athletic, there's a cut that fits you perfectly. These ones are actually the athletic fit. I highly recommend it. But the real magic is in the wash. Each pair goes through an 8-step over dye process, so the color has depth and texture you usually don't see in super premium denim. Over time, it gets even better, like the jeans are aging with you. This is Rag & Bone doing what they do best. 2 decades of denim obsession packed into a pair you'll reach for every single day. It's time to upgrade your denim with Rag & Bone. For a limited time, our listeners are getting 20% off their entire order by using the code DANNY at rag-bone.com. That's 20% off at rag-bone.com and use the promo code DANNY. When they ask where you heard about them, please support our show by telling them we sent you. One of the crazy things I learned when Hamilton was in here is all of the different competing powers that are trying to use psychedelics to their own ends. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, I mean, you can see technology essentially is neutral. You know what I mean? You can use a hammer to build a house for Habitat for Humanity, or you can bash somebody's brain out.
Yeah,
you know,
bash Nancy Pelosi's husband's in the head.
Right. Oh, God. With psychedelics, I mean, you can see we talked about last time, the uses for the military. I mean, if you have what they call terror, if you have a drug that has terror reduction, what they call terror reduction capabilities, terror mitigating in the psychedelic literature, psilocybin has this effect. It makes people less scared to die. You have a drug of which they studied in cancer patients, that cancer patients would take it and they would go, okay, I'm not scared anymore.
Yeah, this was in the Immortality Key in the beginning.
Is it? Yeah, yes, it was. Yeah. Yep. And you can see how the ears might perk up of the Pentagon. Hold up, it makes people less scared to die? I know some people who could use this. Guess what? We have a new drug. It's
Dick
amazing.
Cheney, what?
They're not afraid to die. I mean, that could be very useful. And we should say, you know, Morris says, oh, anti-drug, this is anti-drug, that's anti-drug, as if this on its own is self-justifying, calling it anti-drug. Look, Terence McKenna called Brave New World the greatest anti-drug book ever written. It is an anti-drug book. It's also a classic in the canon of literature. We should, if you want to understand the world we live in, you ought to read it very close. It was published in, I always thought it was, you know, before I really got into this stuff, I was thinking, man, the 50s, earliest, 60s. It was published in the 1930s. It's prophetic.
Really?
It's prophetic. And so
Huxley?
Yeah. And so this is in the tradition of the psychedelic writers, Aldous Huxley, Terence McKenna. You have a responsibility as an intellectual and as a journalist and a reporter and as a human being to look into how these things might be used. Now, obviously, the industry isn't going to want that, and Morris is on the industry side. Did GM like it when Ralph Nader published Unsafe at Any Speed and said, hey, we ought to have seatbelts in cars? No, they didn't like it. In fact, they tried to set him up they tried to get prostitutes and women to screw him so that they could set him up and blackmail him,
right,
to discredit him because they didn't want to pay to put in seatbelts. Mm-hmm. Of course, they're going to resist it. They want to maximize profit for shareholders. You can understand it. We all get it. But ultimately, Nader was right. Can you throw a seatbelt and maybe an airbag in there so we don't die in the car crash? Okay, so this is what's happening with you. You have a responsibility. As they call Ralph Nader a consumer advocate. I've always really had a high value on people like Nader, Barbara Ehrenreich, that say, look, it's not too much to ask that we discuss what might be some of the downsides of this shit. And the idea that any critical reporting, not critical in negative, critical thinking, that's your job, applying critical thinking to the world and thinking, hold on, what might this be used for? These are serious concerns. And I should say that people within the industry themselves, I know and friends with scientists who are developing pharmaceutical drugs with psychedelics. I don't have any problem with that. They appreciate this type of reporting because, not surprisingly, these are intelligent people who care about our country and who care about people. So you need to consider both sides. But you don't want to get into exaggeration, and you don't want to get into turning it into a publicity stunt, which is what Morris is accusing them of.
Yeah, I don't understand how they would be so there would be DEA informants because they're ratting out people like Hamilton to
not
the DEA.
Hamilton. Hamilton is not an underground MDMA therapist. What you have?
No, but other folks. But Hamilton has been involved with like studying like the underground, the chemistry of the stuff.
Yes.
Not that he's doing it himself, but he's connected.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
No, you're right. I think the idea is, I'm just gonna speculate here.
Yeah.
I think the idea is these people are giving people drugs in the underground and bad things are happening as a result. Bad things have happened. But, am I going to go rat to the DEA? Probably not. And I don't know that they did that. I'm not saying they did that. I don't know.
Right.
The burden of proof is upon him. He's already provided some of the people that worked with him accused them of this. I don't know what the truth is. But I think the idea was that they were saying, hey, DEA, there's some dangerous people and some sketchy people that are giving people drugs, and maybe there's some unsavory things taking place. That's what I assume he's accusing them of. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Did you see his Callaghan thing?
No, I did. I saw clips of it. I didn't see the whole thing.
Yeah. You know Callaghan?
It was long. No, I don't know him. I know who he is, but I never talked to him.
Did you see him on there with the Nick Shirley guy?
No. I saw a recent clip of him hanging out with Shane Smith in Greenland.
Oh, really? Oh, they're in Greenland.
Yeah, he's like doing some weird new Vice 2.0 shit with Shane Smith in Greenland where they're like both reporting on shit together.
Oh, on Trump's promised acquisition?
When you're talking about the Nick Shirley thing, are you talking about where he edited his interview? Yeah.
Well, the Shirley guy's accusing him of editing it to make him look stupid, but of course he didn't. He did that on his own.
Well,
he was perfectly capable of doing that on his own.
Well, the Nick Shirley guy, he posted a bunch of clips on like how Callaghan edited the interview down and like cut stuff out. Yeah. But I don't think Callaghan was purposely trying to make Shirley look. He was just trying to like make himself look smarter, I think.
Yeah, when I watched the video to where he breaks down the editing, he essentially was just editing out junk, dead air. I think the clip that went viral is when he's like, something about who's benevolent, and he's like, what's that mean? But I mean, look, Shirley's just not that articulate. Some people aren't, whatever.
Right.
I think I don't know anything about his so-called reporting, but he doesn't.
He's got some great videos. He goes out. Shirley was the guy who went out to Minnesota and exposed that daycare fraud, right?
Right, but I think a lot of it was bunk. I think a lot of it he filmed shit and then later added. There's no
really?
Well, it's not. He didn't expose the fraud. The fraud was already an investigation. There's no question.
Yeah, but he went out and interviewed him. Went in there like boots on the ground, did like an old school Vice style.
I shouldn't say anything because I actually haven't watched it except for small clips. But I do know that some of the people that he looked into, and I think he even admits this, where he was just going to random daycares, like, where are the kids? Look, if your kids are at a daycare, do you want random dudes with cameras showing up? Are you going to be like, bring them out? Here's 20 kids. Yeah. No, they're like, who the fuck are you? Like.
Yeah, but the places were empty. They were like, "There's no."
Maybe they were. Some of it before they opened. So I think two things at the same time. One, there was fraud going on. Mm-hmm. One, there's no question. Even the mayor of the city, Frey, said in the New York Times recently, there was fraud taking place, and it's very serious. This is all we need to know.
Sure, there's definitely fraud taking place.
Yeah. So what role did Shirley play? I don't know enough about it to say what role he played. It seems to me that he played a popularization role, that people didn't know that this was taking place, and he brought a lot of media attention to it. Is that? I think that's
until
fair.
The riots started. Now no one's talking about it. Now it's all about the fucking. Now it's all about the ICE stuff.
Right.
The ICE riots and all that stuff.
But he's already made a name off of it, and he's out. I think he's in.
Now he's doing everything. Now he's covering everything.
He's going
he's
to
the guy
now. We live in a crazy world.
We do, bro. There's just too much. The grift is insane, man.
It is.
The level of grift in everything, in every aspect of everything is fucking crazy.
Yeah, it is.
The good thing is it's easy to snuff out.
You know, I've been thinking about
for most people.
We have all these independent media organizations. We have YouTube. The legacy institutions have been undermined. Most of them are collapsing. We talked about the Washington Post. This is good that there's more information, but if we're going to have an increase in information, meaning rather than it being filtered through a reporter or a journalist who may ignore certain things like the fraud, we don't want that. But if the level of information is going to increase, meaning you're getting this raw sewer of information, some of which is bullshit, it's not
fire hose.
Fire hose, exactly. We must. I think that what follows that is that there must be an increase in sophistication of the consumer himself. And I think if not, what people do is they don't know how to interpret the information. Most people are not trained to say, okay, what's the evidence we have? And then the next step, which is hard, how do you examine that evidence?
Of course not, nor do they have the time.
Nor do they have the time, or they want to. You know, I know a lot of people, I don't have time to do that, but they go home and then they watch TV. Well, I went to work all day. Yeah, well, I've been working blue-collar jobs my whole life. I still find time. I do journalism on the side.
Right. You're obsessed with this stuff.
I'm obsessed with all this stuff. And I'm someone who 50 years ago probably would have went into journalism, but by the time I got into it, it was already dead. Everything's dying. But anyway, the point being is that I think we need to recognize that there has to be some way, if somebody could come up with something maybe it just naturally happens, right? Maybe naturally in the beginning, we're kind of going through a rough time, and maybe people will develop these skills of like, I don't know about that.
Yeah, that's possible.
Yeah. Or maybe not.
There's definitely way too much information.
There is.
And now everyone's becoming their own reporter.
Yeah.
You know, everyone has a podcast, everyone reports on stuff, and you know, which is not a bad thing inherently as long as you're doing your best.
Yeah.
But, you know, it just makes it, especially when it comes to like finding the truth to stuff, it makes it way harder. Even for me, like it's my job to do that, and it's really hard to find the truth of stuff, figure out and to drill down, because you know a lot of the people that get the most attention online are the people that say the craziest shit.
Yes.
Right. And a lot of those people really don't back stuff up with like hardcore sources.
No. No, they don't. They don't even know where to find it.
And most people, majority of people don't even care, don't even know to look for sources. Like, oh, this guy said it and he sounds really confident.
Yes.
And look at his follower count. This must be true.
Yes. I'm not going to say any names, but I often ask people when people tell me something confidently, if you wanted to know, like I was in a debate with someone from my hometown, not a debate, but we're just talking. We're drinking beer, talking.
Yeah.
We're doing. And they said, well, you know, something about increases in health and increase in lifespan and why that is. And I said, if you wanted to know, I said, what my understanding is that increases in cleanliness and understanding germs and all of this increase to lifespan as much as medical advancements, right? That knowing like, hey, you should wash your hands before you perform surgery. Yeah. Basic shit. And I said, if you wanted to know that, where would you look? You wouldn't know. You wouldn't believe how many people I talk to, and I say, if you wanted to know this, if you wanted to find out, where would you look? And people go, I don't know. A lot of people don't know that there are
ChatGPT.
The libraries are empty. Yeah, ChatGPT. Right. That's another whole. This is dystopian. I didn't know that they can vacuum up all these books.
Shop. Exactly.
And they don't have to pay for it.
Is that
true?
It's a one-stop shop to get all of your information funneled right to one thing.
That's
all these AIs.
Idea.
It distills it all for you.
What a horrible idea.
So you just go to the trough and you get your slop from one spot.
There you go. This is the perfect analogy. It's slop.
It's slop.
It's slop.
Exactly what it is. Your pig's eating slop.
Because it only knows what you feed into it. But also, I mean, I want to know what you think about this. Aren't they just sucking up books and information without pay? Aren't they sucking up information from the transcript of your podcast as well, and they can use it for free?
Yeah.
That seems to be an infringement on your copyright.
Well, not only are they sucking stuff up wholesale, but they're also deliberately weeding out stuff that Google would weed out. Like Google is obviously curated. Google search.
Yeah.
This was proven by many people, especially during the elections, right? You couldn't Google a positive thing about Trump and find it to save your life. You couldn't Google a negative thing about Kamala. You know, that was very clear. There's been multiple studies that were done on that. So now extrapolate that in AI. Now you don't have I'm going to go to Google, I'm going to go to Bing, I'm going to go to DuckDuckGo, all these other ones, and try to figure out what's right. No, I'm just going to go to ChatGPT and let them tell me what's right because I don't have time to do anything else. And they are clearly going to be, the downstream effect. It's compounded. It gets worse and worse.
What I did not anticipate, and this may show that I'm somewhat naive, is I didn't think people would so readily, easily, and automatically turn to using it. But people I work with, people I know, everybody's just like, ChatGPT, I'm going to ask it. It's like, why?
Yeah.
I think the most important thing for people to know is, you can say no. Does anybody in this country remember that when you could say no? The only freedom you have in this country is to say no or no thank you. I don't want it. I don't need this. I don't need it. I've never used it. Why? What is it offering?
A lot of analytical folks like to use it.
There are uses for it. There's no question. They're using it in medical studies. I'm talking about people using it for like, when was Ronald Reagan the president? Or even more sophisticated thing is, that's fine because you're probably going to get a right answer.
Yeah.
But like say this FDA thing. Why was the MDMA new drug application rejected? There's no way I would be curious what it said, number one. Two, there's no way you can get an answer because nobody knows. So many of these, take the cause of World War. Whenever I took a class in Baltimore that was World War I and World War II, and we studied them together as a 30-year war. Well, one of the main things you have to study is Franz Ferdinand, the cause of the war. Well, the literature on Franz Ferdinand and the origins of World War I we could start reading it now and we'd be long dead before you ever finished it.
Right.
It's enormous. So how are you going to ask ChatGPT and it know anything about this?
Right.
It might tell you who it is. I think
it can be useful for research type stuff, but I think the main problem is when people try to tell me how to respond to this text.
Right.
Months ago, I realized I was going through a can of those nicotine pouches every 2 days. And then my sleep started to get worse, my recovery started to feel slower, and I couldn't figure out why. And then I picked up some Ultra pouches, and I'll tell you the difference was incredible. Ultra gives me the same pouch experience I actually like. The burn, the little kick, the flavor, but without nicotine or caffeine. No jitters, no crash, no feeling wired at midnight. And my favorite part is they're actually packed with natural nootropics that actually help my focus and my memory. And what really surprised me was how much better I feel. Better sleep, better workouts, and recovery actually happening again. Nicotine messes with blood flow and stress hormones. Ultra doesn't. It's a way smoother flow state, especially if pre-workouts tend to overstimulate you. So I get to keep the habit without the vice holding me back. Ultra is the ultimate guilt-free pouch, delivering instant focus and mental clarity without nicotine or caffeine. New customers can use the code DANNY for 15% off at takeultra.com. That's TAKEULTRA.com. Code Danny. When they ask where you heard about them, please support the show and tell them we sent you.
I noticed in Gmail now, I hate it. I was talking to Rick Strassman yesterday, and at the top of the conversation, it was like, Rick said this, and then Travis said this. I'm like, this is clearly military spy tools being presented as option or it's being offered as what? Convenience. Yeah. Oh, now I can comb through my emails, and this sums up at the top. And then whenever I hit respond, it allows you now, this is new, to hit some button and it offers to respond for you.
Right.
This is...
What does that do? What's that going to do to us?
It's to replace it. The whole goal is to replace it.
How are we going to evolve?
We're not. The problem is we're going to devolve. That's what's happening. Intelligence is going down. Lifespan for certain groups is going down. Everybody's getting stupider. It's a horrific
thing. Is lifespan really going down?
For certain groups it is. The deaths of despair crisis, which was white men between 30 and 45 who were dying of what they called deaths of despair, which were because they were poisoning. Miserable. Well, there's a lot of reasons. There's, another extremely rich literature around this. The main one is the Deaton case analysis. I think they were at Yale. It was a husband and wife duo. And they published all the research, or they're the ones who brought it to public attention. And it was people dying of mass poisoning. And you saw this. What's interesting is there was Aaron Mate and Max Blumenthal, who run the Gray Zone, they published something a couple of years ago showing that Larry Summers and some of the other people in Russia, when perestroika happened and they transitioned from a communist economy to a capitalist economy, that they engineered certain conditions that mirrored American conditions, high unemployment, et cetera, that caused a deaths of despair crisis over there that mirrored the one here. There's a cliche of Russian men drinking themselves to death on vodka. All these Russian women that come over here and they say, well, all the men over there are unemployed alcoholics.
Yeah.
Well, So, it's mass poisoning, meaning they're drinking themselves to death, opioid addiction, drug addiction, et cetera, et cetera.
There definitely is like a very big problem with a lot of folks I've noticed with just like a lack of fucking meaning in life. You know, they can't find something. They're fucking miserable because their job sucks. Yeah. And they're unhappy. They're unfulfilled. Yeah. And I mean, I hear about it. I've been hearing about it a lot lately through like, you know, friends of friends.
Well, you had that Vervaeke guy on here.
Oh God, he was great.
Yeah, that's something, you know, Roland Griffiths recommended. He said, he sent me an email before he died and he said, Travis, this is someone who I find to be a deep thinker on these topics that we're discussing. And
he debated. He's good friends with Jordan Peterson. Has debated him many times. He debated Jordan Peterson many times. Disagrees with him on a lot of stuff, but he was very, very.
What do you make of Peterson? Were you somebody who was interested in his work, or not really?
Yeah, I was. When I first learned about him, I was definitely interested. I definitely listened to a lot of it. I read a couple of his books. I've read one of his books.
What, the 12 Rules?
The 12. I think one of those ones. No, the one of the meaning ones.
Oh, Maps of Meaning.
Maybe, I don't remember.
That was the big. I read most of that. That's a big 500-page whopper.
I read it in the year I read it was 2017. So that will probably give you a better idea. Which
probably
one it was.
12's Rule for Life. I mean, that was the first big seller.
That was probably it. Yeah, but I really, really enjoyed talking to Vervaeke because my problem with Peterson is I have a really hard time understanding what the fuck he's talking about.
Yeah, me too.
He uses big words. He fucking makes it so convoluted. Vervaeke is easy to understand and digest. He makes it understandable for a dum-dum like me, you know?
Yeah. And what is he, an academic? Is he a teacher or something? Professor?
Yeah, in Toronto, I think.
Oh, so he's a Canadian. Like,
Canadian. Yeah.
Peterson.
Mm-hmm. Same exact background as Peterson.
Okay. Interesting.
He talked a lot about the same stuff.
Yeah,
and consciousness. He's really into consciousness.
Yeah, the Peterson book. I feel the same way with Peterson. He's drawing from Jung and Eliot and all of the, and also from that men's help movement like Iron John from the 80s. I don't know what the hell he's talking about at the time. He takes something very simple and turns it into something that's so confusing. I'm just like, I stopped listening. I tuned out like 3 minutes ago trying to figure out what you're talking about. I don't know. I mean, I'm not super smart, but I'm also not a complete idiot, and I have no idea. And Maps of Meaning was the same way. I mean, he's essentially in that book. He argues in one part, he says, somehow we have to bridge or fuse the natural sciences with the occult sciences. So it's very Jungian, very much Eliot, traditionalism, which I'm into that stuff. You know, I'm interested. I have a lot of sympathy for that stuff. But I don't know. I couldn't figure out what the hell he was talking about.
Yeah.
That's because he's trying to make it scientific.
Great job.
Yeah, right. Does he I'm assuming he has books as well?
Yeah, he does have many books. And he's part of a lot of research groups and research studies and stuff like that. He's doing a big one on consciousness. Oh, wow. He did a big one on I think death and the fear of death. Wow. One of the crazy things, what blew my mind when I had him in here, I was asking him, I was like, what do you think happens when we die then? And he's like, nothing. He's like, what did he say? He's like asking me, he goes, what do you think happens when we die? He's like, that's like asking me what time it is on the sun. He thinks.
Yeah, there's no way to know.
He thinks what happens when we die, he thinks it's the same thing as before we're born.
Yeah, well,
it's just nothing. It's just we cease to exist is what he strongly believes that.
Well, there's a lot of people who would disagree with him, but the thing is, there's nobody knows. I mean, this whole indestructibility of conscience, this is all in the psychedelic stuff. It's very hard to understand. I don't.
He grew up very, very hardcore Christian too.
Oh, really?
His family,
yeah, not surprising.
He had like a big profound moment when he was young about Christianity and God and all that. Yeah.
Well, psychology was essentially constructed in order to replace as a secular scientific replacement for religion, right? And so right from the very beginning, you have people that are thinking, look, we can take what's good about it. We can understand the human mind. We can take what's good about religion, but we can get rid of all of the myth. This is, the basis of all the psychedelic stuff is William James, and William James thought this. Look, why can't we have religion but get rid of all the superstition and all of the myth? Like, can't we just get rid of that and have the part that's good about it? And in fact, modern psychedelic renaissance, that's what was the aim. That was the aim.
But the myth is just the stuff we can't measure, right? I mean, this is what Epstein was talking about in that interview. Remember that interview that just came out with Epstein and Bannon?
Oh, with Bannon. I watched that.
Yeah, so did I. I just listened to it, and he was talking about the same stuff. He's like, things like love, the soul.
Yes.
These are the things that we can't measure, and these are like these are like the divine mythological things that, you know, in the past that people would explain to be as, you know.
And what do you make of him? I find it very interesting that this is what he's talking about. I mean, part of it, I thought,
dude, I had a guy in the podcast yesterday who is he worked in the Stargate program with the CIA, all the remote viewing stuff. Huh. He came out in the fucking Epstein files. What's his name? Dean Radin.
Oh, I know him.
Yeah,
I don't know him personally, but I know his books.
I was just doing a quick research, a quick background check on him before I talked to him.
And what was it?
And they're like, oh my God, Dean Radin's in the Epstein files. I looked it up. It was like a 20-minute Skype phone call, basically. And I asked him about it on the show.
What did he say?
This was a remote podcast that's only going to be on our Patreon.
Okay.
Essentially what he was saying, he's like, yeah, Epstein just hit me up one day. And I knew this guy was like a billionaire who funded a lot of my colleagues. He like funded some of the smartest people I fucking know. So of course I'm going to do a 20-minute call with him.
Yeah.
And because he's always looking for funding for his research.
Yeah.
And he basically just sat there for 20 minutes and asked me to tell him stories about spoon bending and telepathy.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, all of this, you know, if he indeed is CIA or Mossad, I mean, the government has always, as you well know, a lot of interest in paranormal research. You know, because Epstein apparently was somewhat interested in a lot of the people that are involved in psychedelic research. I should say some of the people were also in the Epstein files. I mean, you're funding
psychedelic people.
Yeah, like say Kimball Musk, who's heavily involved, Elon Musk's brother, who's heavily involved in funding psychedelic research. His wife is the head of Brian Murarescu's nonprofit organization. A lot of the people involved in funding psychedelic research were friends of Jeffrey Epstein. It's a fact.
Yeah.
There were also some other figures that appeared. I won't say their names because they seem to be, you know, some people.
A lot of the folks are innocent. You know, there's a lot of these research scientists. They never did
They didn't
anything.
know.
Right,
Like you say, these people are desperate. Look, if you're going to give somebody who's going to give you $1 million to try to bend spoons with your mind, I'm probably going to take the money. I mean, now, if they knew who he was, they probably, I wouldn't, but they should probably know not to do that. Like, look, where's the money coming from? I mean, it is weird. But
what did you think about the interview, though, with Bannon and Epstein? What did you make of Epstein? His fucking accent really threw me off. That's not what I was expecting.
I know. Yeah, the heavy
well, I knew
New York accent.
I assumed he would have had a New York accent, but it was very like soft, gay spoken. You know,
he's
like
kind of feminine.
Very feminine.
Yeah, he's a weird guy. But
he had a testosterone level of 90. He had like.
What does that mean?
Basically, he had like no testosterone in his system. Probably because he was fucking 10 times a day and like eating fucking almond joy bars all day.
Right. But here's what I thought about it. We know this. Bannon was trying to touch up his image so that he could come back into polite society because many people were shunning him. And so Bannon's job was, he was a publicity agent. That was what he was doing.
I don't know if I believe that.
Well, he doesn't even deny it.
Who doesn't deny it?
Bannon doesn't deny that's what he was doing. He said that's what he was doing.
I think that's probably a cover for something. I don't know what it is.
Well, maybe that's true.
Yeah.
But if we can believe Bannon, if we can believe Bannon in the evidence, he was acting as a publicity agent. The context of the video is that he's creating a little documentary to try to show to people. So what I made of the video is they're trying to give him this, well, this is this big intellectual, and he does seem like he's interested in this stuff, but notice what they don't talk about, any of his crimes. They mentioned it at the end. He's like, do you think you're the devil himself or something like this? But I think all it was they were trying to provide this veneer that this guy's not CIA, he's not Mossad, he's not a child or this. What he is he's one of the great minds of our time. And everything that he was saying was boilerplate shit that you can read in a New Age book published on Inner Traditions in 1986.
Some of the finance stuff he was talking about was really, really good though. Like he's like, you can tell he knows what he's talking about when it comes to the high finance shit.
He does, but did you notice his main response to a lot of that stuff is he was saying, we don't know. It's like magic. We don't know. Nobody knows how it works. We don't know how it works. And he was talking about the butterfly effect.
Yeah.
And so
he's definitely smart. He's definitely smart.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I think there's different types of intelligences. And would he be smart if you dumped him in the middle of the Amazon? Probably not so smart. I don't think I'd want him with me. Right. But if you're talking about global criminal activity, I think he's real fucking smart.
He seemed like one of those guys whose brain's moving twice as fast as his mouth can move. You know, he's trying to catch up.
Yeah, and he also, I mean, he just comes off as very creepy and scary. I mean, he comes off as a creep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. My whole thing about the image revival by Bannon, I don't know if I buy that because Bannon literally drove there the day he was fired by Trump.
This was a large, but this is not just this one interview. There are dozens, if not hundreds of emails that I've read that nobody questions the validity of them, to where they are discussing this. I think it's completely non-controversial that this is
but
what he's doing.
What do you think about Bannon's demeanor during the whole thing? Like Bannon was being very harsh towards him.
You think so? See,
yeah. He's like, you're bullshit. He's like, you're trying to say you don't measure shit? Bullshit. He's like, your whole job, your whole life, your whole existence is based on measuring and weighing shit and analyzing people. He's like, and anything you say contrary to that is a fucking lie, and you know it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I buy that. Yeah. I thought it went back and forth between fawning. You're one of the smartest people in the world. You're one of the best. I mean, why didn't they let you out of prison to save us from the 2008 financial crash? I mean, if this guy's any smarter than Jamie Dimon or something, I doubt it. He's just a criminal. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, he was needling him on some stuff, but then sort of went back and forth between fawning praise and trying to, but it also was an interview. So he was trying to get something out of him, and everybody has their own technique to try to get something out of somebody. That's in the end, we would have to know what his ultimate goal was, and there's no final product. It looked like it was going, someone mentioned 60 Minutes. It seemed to be, it was going to be and it looked like from the shot, it was going to be a kind of 60 Minutes type thing. So hell, I don't know. This is one of these things to where you just go, I don't know what the hell. It's
like, I don't know either.
What the hell?
It kind of goes to what we were talking about earlier with all the information coming out. Like, this is just too much for people, man. This is like flooding the zone.
Well,
especially when you have the Bush yacht eating fucking babies, intestines and shit. Like,
and there's anonymous FBI tips in there. Anybody, it's like the HR department. Anybody can say anything. We can send a tip right now that's like, Danny Jones, I saw him eating a baby. It's like, anybody can say anything. Did you see the one that was like Pusha T and Jay-Z were screwing Harvey Weinstein?
I think that was fake, yeah.
Yeah, it's fake.
There's also this, there's also on top of
Drake, stop sending emails.
On top of the Epstein files, there's also loads and loads of fake files that are going out, fake emails, like the one about Satoshi Nakamoto, about how on the day Bitcoin was created, somebody faked an email. You can probably find it on Google very easily, where Epstein's emailing Ghislaine or something like that and saying, oh, our little Satoshi pseudonym is working perfectly. Our new little project. They call it Project Bitcoin or something.
So what is your working theory of what exactly he was up to? Do you have one?
Epstein in general?
Yeah, just Epstein in general. Yeah. Do you have one?
I don't really have like a very buttoned up theory on it, but I have kind of like a loose idea of what I think. Yeah. It's very clear that he had those close ties to the guy at the Dalton School, who was Barr's dad, right? Who wrote that book about the fucking intergalactic child traffickers.
This is too weird.
And then Robert Maxwell, the guy who founded Pergamon Press, the Throne of Satan, died.
Oh, his press was called Pergamon?
Pergamon Press, yeah. What? Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
When he died on his yacht in like the early 90s or whatever, that guy was worth billions, right? Mm-hmm. That is precisely when Epstein got fucking mega rich. He was rich before that, but after that is when he got just insanely rich and bought some of his biggest houses and all that stuff. So I think it makes the most sense that he trusted Epstein and put all of his money under Epstein's name.
Oh, I thought you were going to say he knocked him off.
No, I think I like Giorgiani's theory about how Epstein died. Or not Epstein, I'm sorry. How Robert Maxwell died. Like he thinks that the Mossad killed him.
Well, there's a book out about this, and I just ordered it, that says that he told the Mossad, look, my media empire's crumbling. You better give me all this money or I'm going to go to the press and start talking about what's going on.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
That's the thesis of the book.
He got that funeral in Israel and all that stuff. All those people attended it.
Oh,
yeah.
Interesting.
And I think it's just very obvious that he started out as an access agent. He was a billionaire running around doing all this stuff. He was an access agent for Israeli, probably Saudi, probably many governments were fucking. He was probably just taking money from whoever, giving people information, getting blackmail on people for his own means and for their ends. And I think to the CIA's discredit, they probably missed it for a while. Yeah. And then later on down the line, the CIA or the FBI got wind of it. Yeah. And they were like, holy fuck, how did we not see this? And they probably went to him and said, hey, motherfucker, we see what you're doing. if you want to keep doing this, you're going to pay us a tax. So I think he probably was like at least a double agent with Israel and the U.S.
Yeah. Weird, man. And it does seem to be a peek inside the machinations of the global scientific atheist elite. I mean, I find it's just so weird that he's funding all the scientific research, but he's also funding a lot of the art stuff. Did you see a couple people step down yesterday? David Ross, who was at a big art school, and somebody else.
I didn't see any of that.
Yeah, there's been a lot of people in the art world, and some of the emails were pretty.
Well, the art stuff's like synonymous with money laundering too.
Yeah,
all the fine art world.
Right. Yeah, I watched that documentary about the Miami. What's that art?
Art Basel.
Yeah, that happens in Miami and all the fake stuff. Have you ever seen that documentary? F for Fake. It's about Orson Welles, who made Citizen Kane.
Yeah,
he made a documentary that's fantastic called F for Fake. That's about his interest in magic. But one of the subjects of it, well, there's two subjects. One was El Greco, who was a painting forger, and you could show him. He knew. All of these painters so well that he could knock you out a Van Gogh or anybody. Just be like, hey, look, I need a Van Gogh by about 6 p.m. He'd knock it out. And in the documentary, you see, they go to the biggest art galleries in the world. Hey, we got a Van Gogh, a new Van Gogh. Oh, wonderful. Here's $2 million. They bring the money back to him.
Yeah.
He ended up getting caught. And the other one is this guy that wrote this fake book about, not Henry Ford. Oh, what's his name? Leonardo DiCaprio played him. He was a pilot. Who was that rich billionaire DiCaprio played? Henry Hughes. Henry Hughes.
Yeah.
Henry Hughes. Howard Hughes. He claimed that he wrote this book about Howard Hughes with his cooperation, but it ended up being fake. But Wells very skillfully plays on this. What is reality? You should watch it. It's
interesting.
Great. Yeah, Orson Welles is an interesting guy.
Yeah, we had a guy on here not too long ago who was telling us this whole background. He made a documentary about a guy who was an art forger, and how he linked up with this billionaire who was basically having him forge fake art so he could launder money.
This is Orson Welles or the guy you had?
No, a different guy. A guy I had on the show.
Oh, wow.
Who and they were like, this billionaire was laundering all this money, having this guy make fake art, like duplicates of like Picassos and all kinds of stuff, and Rembrandts and all this shit.
Same thing. Did you see the documentary on the guy who was selling the $1 million bottles of wine, that he was going to Trader Joe's and buying all their wine, and then he would make labels on his desk?
Is this the Sour Grapes documentary?
I can't remember. It's an Asian guy, but he was like, little of $2 Chuck, a little of this other $1 wine, slap a fake label on it, and bam. I was like, wow. It just shows you what bullshit all of this stuff is.
No, yeah, this guy was telling us how, like, during the Cold War, the CIA was funding, like, Jackson Pollock and the whole fine art movement as, like, a propaganda war against the Soviet Union.
Okay, yeah, I've read about
trying to say that we were, like, we were just as artsy-fartsy as them, and our civilization is flourishing because we, we have all these creatives that are doing this fine art, and it's making all this money, and it was, like, Jackson Pollock. Like,
the
shit's fucking crazy.
Yeah, the State Department funds that stuff, because they did that with jazz musicians, too. They were sending them all over the world. And then there was I don't know if you remember, Mint Press News published something to where the State Department hired Lear Cohen and Russell Simmons, and they were doing the same thing with rappers and other people, to where they were using them as a kind of CIA
in
fund.
Cuba,
Yeah, crazy. Yeah. Russell Simmons isn't he hiding? Russell Simmons, who started Def Jam Records. He started Def Jam Records, and then I think they accused him of a bunch of Me Too stuff, and then he fled to Thailand and hasn't come back.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, major. It was Rick Rubin and Russell Simmons started Def Jam.
No way, I didn't know.
Run DMC, it's everything. I'm sure it's got to be billion dollar empire by now.
Oh, wow.
There you go.
Oh, in 2025, Def Jam Records co-founder Russell Simmons faces ongoing legal battles, including new lawsuits filed in 24 and 25 regarding sexual assault, misconduct, spanning several decades. More than 20 women have accused him. Wow.
Yeah, he was
he currently resides in Bali.
Yeah, he ran. Yeah, big figure in my youth when hip hop was just getting huge. He was a very visible figure. I guess now nobody knows who the hell he is. Maybe I'm sure he's very happy about that.
Yeah. No way.
Yeah. He doesn't look familiar to you?
Yeah, he definitely looks familiar. I definitely know who this guy is.
Yeah.
If you've ever shopped online, chances are you've purchased from a business powered by Shopify. It's easy to spot the purple Shop Pay button. That's what we use for our merch store. The purple button has all your payments and shopping info, so you don't have to track down your card or hope your browser remembered your payment info. There's a reason why so many businesses use Shopify, and that's because they make it incredibly easy to run and start your own business. It's the business behind the business that really matters, and that's where Shopify excels with convenient tools and workflows. Shop Pay has the best converting checkout on the planet, meaning fewer abandoned carts and way more sales. That's a game changer. You can spread your brand's word with the built-in marketing and email tools. Don't want to build your own page? Shopify has hundreds of beautiful, ready-to-go templates to express your brand and forget the code. Like Daylight Computer, whose website is gorgeous. So if you've got a product, a dream, and a drive to make it happen, Shopify is the platform that helps you do it with ease. Because businesses that sell more with Shopify. See less abandoned carts and more sales go with Shopify and their Shop Pay button. Sign up for your $1 per month trial today at shopify.com/Danny Jones, all lowercase. Again, that's shopify.com/Danny Jones. Shopify.com/Danny Jones. Amanita muscaria is the third most microdosed psychedelic in the US, with 3 million people reportedly using it. But with the dangerous wave of fake stuff out there at gas stations, sitting next to the boner pills and the scratch-offs, who knows how many people are getting scammed out of the real deal. And that is why I use the world's most trusted source of Amanita muscaria, Amantara. I would have never even touched Amanita muscaria if it weren't for Amantara. Most head shops have synthetics, unreliable sources, or don't even contain mushrooms at all, and it damages our perception of the real thing. Amantara is the complete and total opposite. They are the largest Amanita supplier in the United States, which is totally legal, ethically sourced, lab tested, and they work directly with foraging families around the world. This isn't a side hustle or a scam, it's a serious operation. Real Amanita muscaria tastes natural like a tea, not a synthetic artificial chemical, and the experience feels clean with no weird edge or synthetic vibe. I take a few capsules a couple nights a week when I get home from work, and it makes a house full of screaming toddlers far more bearable, and I'm just exuding love and not being overstimulated. If you can imagine being in a stressful environment and not feeling triggered, that's what it's like. Imagine having infinite patience. If you're curious about Amanita, don't grab something random off the gas station counter. Use the legitimate and trusted professionals. Amantara's 500 milligram capsules and gummies are consistent and beginner friendly. 2 to 3 capsules is a great starting point. Check out the gentle, soothing, relaxing effects of Amanita muscaria. Go to amantara.com/go/DJ and use the code DJ22 for 22% off your first order. That's AMENTARA.com/go/DJ and use the code DJ22 for 22% off your first order. Dude, this Epstein stuff, though, is like these files, all the stuff that was just released, like if that's real, that's like civilization ending type of stuff. That's like shit that could like fucking take down the whole American empire. Like if people start to realize that our world is run by these people, these Rothschilds and people like this, and you have like people like Ehud Barak and Epstein talking about how to profit off of fucking civil wars in different African countries. Really? Like, wow. Emails like, oh yeah, look at this new civil war that's going on in fucking, Kenya or Nigeria.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of cynical people, including myself, have believed this is the way the world works for a long time.
Yeah, this just confirms it.
It just confirms it. Yeah, and a lot further.
Pizzagate, fucking all this stuff about pizzas and grape soda. Like, what do you do with this stuff, man?
I don't know. I mean, what appetite will the press have and resources to go through this and publish really good reporting? Because we know we've got a lot of garbage social media stuff like running with everything, but hopefully there are some people who will put some resources towards seriously looking into it and trying to examine what of it is real and what of it is not. Unfortunately, we live in a landscape like we talked about earlier to where they may, particularly these elite institutions like the New York Times, who've done some good reporting on Epstein, might be like, maybe not. Mm-hmm. Let's try to get past this. I mean, it doesn't look good.
No, there's this guy, Ryan Grimm.
Yeah, he's great.
From Drop Site News.
He's great.
He's amazing. He's been doing a lot of really good deep dive stuff on the Epstein files. I don't know what he's done since the new drop came out, but before this, he's been doing a lot of really good stuff.
They're just doing incredible. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. They, in my opinion, they've been doing the absolute best reporting on all this stuff. Mm-hmm. Even, like you said, even before the latest drop, they were doing great, just unbelievable stuff.
There's this guy, Peter Attia. Have you heard of him?
Yeah, he was.
He's like a super famous doctor.
I'd never heard
he wrote a book all about longevity not too long ago. I think it was last year. He published a book about longevity. I mean, he's been on all the biggest podcasts. He's a really big podcast himself.
So you already knew who he was before this?
Oh yeah, I'd followed him for years before this.
And then what? It's like an Andrew Huberman. This is how you can optimize your health.
Sort of like an Andrew Huberman type guy. He's not. Yeah, very similar to that, but he's got his own practice. You know, Huberman's not like a physician.
He's like a neuroscientist or something.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember when that book came out. Everybody was reading it. Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that was him.
So there was like almost 2,000 emails between him and Epstein.
And what was the nature of the discussion?
I mean, there was one where you could probably find him, Steve. There was one where he said to Epstein, like, "Oh yes, pussy is indeed low carb, Mr. Epstein," all this stuff, which is like, that's kind of like whatever. But then there was like other ones where he's talking about meeting. So in his book, allegedly, I haven't read his book, but one of my friends told me that he read his book, and there's a chapter in his book where he talks about this really pivotal moment in his life where he had to make this crazy decision because his wife had just given birth to their third or fourth baby, and his baby was in like critical condition in the hospital in Texas, and his wife was also not doing well, and like he had to make this really life-changing decision, big decision, whether to take this business meeting in New York or go and be with his wife and his baby who's like in critical condition. And he said he made the hard choice to handle business in New York, and these Epstein files corroborate what he was doing in New York. He was fucking meeting with Epstein and staying in one of Epstein's apartments.
Whoa.
Which is like, there's no coming back, dude. This guy's done. This guy's completely cooked. His career's over now.
Wow. And what he had been in the news because Barry Weiss had hired him for CBS.
Yeah.
Now, what a disaster this looks like.
Peter says your biggest problem, the biggest problem with being friends with you is the life you lead is so outrageous and I can't tell a soul.
Wow. And
and one of the worst parts about this whole thing is the guy's email is jeevacation@gmail.com.
I know. There's some disturbing stuff in this. Some of the emails with his brother are very disturbing. And the brother has been on Piers Morgan and has been out defending him. And now he's a scumbag too, the brother.
The brother's a scumbag now?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. It's so graphic. I don't even want to discuss it. But I mean, he was discussing Epstein, outright discussing what doctors do you bring your victims to? He used the word victims.
Oh God.
And discussing torture and other things. And now maybe it's fake, but I don't think so. But yeah, I too thought, the brother was like, they killed my brother. We need to look into this. Now it looks like he's also a scumbag. Jeez.
Have you heard of the Michael Wolff guy who's been doing all the reporting on it?
The president, the guy.
So Michael Wolff, he's been reporting on the Epstein stuff for a long time.
Yeah, he had a lot of interviews.
He's the one who, said all this stuff about Trump. There's been like actual recordings of Trump, and like he accuses of Trump of being friends with him for over 10 years. There's actually, I think, audio recordings of him interviewing Epstein.
That's right.
And he asked Epstein about Trump. Epstein's like, we were friends for more than a decade.
Yeah, which is true.
And one of the things that Epstein's brother said to Michael Wolff was Epstein's brother said, no, I think actually Epstein's brother might have said this on the PBD podcast. He said that he was on the phone with his brother Jeffrey leading up to the 2016 election between Trump and Hillary. And he said, Jeffrey Epstein told his brother, he said, if they knew what I knew about Trump and Hillary, they'd cancel the whole motherfucking election.
Yeah. God.
And there's also this stuff like Epstein wrote himself a bunch of emails all the time.
I saw those, the ones about Bill Gates.
About Bill Gates and all this stuff.
Emails.
Yeah. Like, you want to use me for all this stuff and blah, 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 blah. Use me, and then you want me to help you with this STD, with you and this Russian lady, and help you sneak drugs, antibiotics to your wife so she doesn't get the STDs, blah, 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 and like all this stuff. It's obvious that it's blackmail.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
So,
and it was Melania? I read also, I don't know if this is true, but didn't they say Melania also was one of these? He was trafficking in these Russian girls for his modeling agency. Was she one of these people?
Yeah, well, allegedly, according to Michael Wolff, that's how Trump met Melania.
Oh, that's a Wolff. Oh, okay, so that's a Wolff. So could be true. Could be
yeah, apparently Michael Wolff.
I think he's kind of a gossip.
He's
reporter.
kind of yeah. I've heard weird things about Michael Wolff. I don't know how accurate. He's got a bent clearly against Trump. So there's that.
Right. Yeah, I think he's more of a sort of a gossip reporter or something.
But I mean, if even fucking 20% of the shit Michael Wolff says is true, that's goddamn crazy.
And it probably is. Probably more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't know I remember when Outlive came out, and that was a huge book. I did not connect those two things.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
That poor guy, bro.
Well, I mean, he's
you can't
scumbag.
You can't fucking outlive that.
Yeah, one of the things I'll say that this guy, maybe Steve, you can look him up, but David Ross, who resigned yesterday because of his emails between Epstein, one of the things that Epstein wanted to do was he said, hey, let's have an art exhibit for Polanski. Roman Polanski's handlers had approached him, and he said, look, why don't we do an art exhibit where we have all of these people that, they're 13, but they look 18, and we're going to try to trick people out and saying, see, you thought they were of age. And he says, the point of this is that, hell, we don't know how old these people are. And Ross, who resigned yesterday, said, oh, this is brilliant. God, you're a genius. The thing about the Epstein thing that I find most grotesque, not most grotesque, but one of the things I find grotesque is just what bootlickers, all of these high-end academics and scientists and all these people are. You're a genius. Oh, my God, all of your ideas are great.
They want his money.
You're so funny. I know. It's like, how gross. I mean, if you're from that world, people go, well, okay, that's just the way that it works. But if you're not, if you're a regular, everyday American, you look at this and you go, God, it confirms all of the worst stereotypes of these people, that they are soulless hacks.
Yeah.
It's gross.
I didn't know about the Polanski thing. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah. That guy resigned yesterday. The emails were,
when did that happen?
It looked like it was 2017, something like that.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And he was another one who was like, God, you're being treated so unfairly. Geez. They're just really dragging you through the mud, which is something that, I think one of the biggest revelations that's came out of it, one of the most shocking, for me personally, the most shocking is the stuff with Noam Chomsky.
Oh yeah,
I couldn't.
We were just looking at that the other day.
He's like, what should I do about this? And Chomsky's like, just ignore it. He goes, these abused women are just being hysterical. I was like, wow. I interviewed him at MIT once.
Chomsky?
Yes, I was, coming from a rural place, I'm from a very conservative religious place. When I first read his books when I was like 19 or 20, it really opened up the world for me. I was like, I'd never read any of these things. My dad's a Vietnam veteran, but I had never even thought about, what was the Vietnam War about, global affairs, American history. I just had never thought about these things.
Yeah.
I come from a country place. We play sports and run around on the back roads and do what people in rural places do. So I really admired him, so much so that I went and interviewed him and put it online. It's got 1 million or something views. And I interviewed him about religion because I was even interested in religion then. And so I just thought he was someone of unimpeachable integrity. And along with a lot of other people, it wasn't just me. So the revelations about him. And then, so there's been, Yasha Levine did a piece there's a book called Decoding Chomsky. I guess his work in linguistics, from what I understand.
Yeah, I didn't know he was a linguist till that Ammon podcast I did with the other guy.
Well, yeah, this kind of ties into the psychedelic stuff because he got big, and it's worth reading the article, is he went after Skinner, B.F. Skinner, who's famous Harvard psychologist who came up with the Skinner box theories on human behavior. He's also a fascinating guy.
What was his whole thing?
His whole thing was behaviorism. It was that modifications in the external environment are how you can control behavior. So he did experiments with rats in a box. But he wrote a utopian novel called Walden 2. And he basically ended up arguing in one of his, there's the show Firing Line with William Buckley. It's an interview show like this, really fine, one of your great predecessors. He interviews Skinner because he had written this book. I think it's called Freedom in Behavior. I haven't read it in a while, but I think it's called Freedom in Behavior, to where he said, look, we're going to have to take away freedom, and scientists are going to have to run the society because people can't handle freedom. This was kind of an idea that Eric Fromm wrote a book called Escape from Freedom, and he said, look, people can't handle freedom. They don't know what to do. Let's have scientists control the society, and we're going to design a model society. And though you may lose freedom, you're going to really enjoy this. And there's a debate on the Buckley Show where he debates this idea. He doesn't win the debate, but he's a very interesting guy. He's a brilliant guy, very, very interesting guy, extremely influential in psychology, maybe the major psychologist of the
He was arguing for this idea?
He wrote a book on it, arguing for it. Of actually, this is an elite at Harvard. He's arguing we ought to do this. Let's do it.
Well, he might be right. Like if you could put your put on the shoes of some of these super trillionaires like the Rothschilds and these folks that allegedly run the world, that's probably what you're going to be thinking about is how to control society and how to make and how to ensure your survival and the survival of your offspring and your family line. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah, and I think so. That's how Chomsky got big. Was in the New York Review of Books. He attacked Skinner, and he attacks this book, and it's worth reading because it's one of those things that I didn't read. I knew that's how he made his reputation, so I just assumed it was this. You're just like, hey, this guy's fame. This guy's got a great reputation. I went back and read it. It's kind of incredibly weak. Anyway, I guess his linguistic work was valuable to the military in constructing AI, and that's why the Pentagon was funding Chomsky's work.
Whoa.
He's been funding by the MIT is just an extension of the state system. It's funded by the state, the military, the Pentagon, and so he's been funded by the military for years. People had been pointing that out, saying, "Hold on, you're this harsh critic of
Chomsky,
U.S. militarism, but also you're funded by the military." Now he acknowledged this, but I'd never thought, well, why would someone care these abstract theories about universal grammar, et cetera, et cetera? Why would the military be interested in it? But it was language models and AI. Yeah, the great journalist Tom Wolfe, his last book is called Kingdom of Speech, and it's a takedown of Chomsky, and it's very, very much worth reading. It's very short, and it's very funny.
Kingdom of Speech.
It's called Kingdom of Speech. It's hysterical. And it's about a guy who basically debunked Chomsky's theory of universal grammar, and he and everyone else went out of their way to completely destroy this guy.
What is that theory of universal grammar?
I wish I could explain it, but I can't. It's so abstract to me. I don't know. I couldn't explain it to you. I don't know enough about linguistics. It's I mean, this is interesting. I mean, it kind of goes back to one of the things Epstein said in that interview too. Yeah. He's like, reading and writing is bad for us. He's like, it's like trying to fit meaning and meanings into like little words, and teaches us to think in this like rigid, conformed way. And they started talking about fucking Socrates and all this stuff. It's all like vague obfuscation.
He was very vague,
Yeah, it's all obfuscation. I mean, everything he was saying you can read in New Age books. Look, with Newton, everything became measurable phenomena, and we need to move past this. What I thought was interesting about that is it does give you a peek into the global elite and what their idea is for the future. Anyway, the on the Chomsky stuff, the Tom Wolfe book. The second half is about Chomsky, but the first one is a takedown of Charles Darwin, which is also hilarious. Anyway, I won't go too deep into it, but it's fascinating.
Yeah, dude. Some of the shit and the experiments that the Pentagon and DARPA and the CIA have been involved in over the years is like sickening. Like, what were they really doing? Like, what? Like, you hear the Mice Utopia thing?
Right. Yeah,
like
I saw that show. That was a great show you did.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, that was a great show.
I forget who.
What was her name?
Yeah, that was the woman.
She's got a new book out.
Yes, she did. She studied mind control and like MKUltra.
A lot of it was about
Harvard.
Who's the guy who they said is in that you showed a picture and it was with Stanley Kubrick.
Oh yeah, Jolly West.
Jolly West.
Yes, who was tied into MKUltra.
Into Chaos. The book, The Chaos.
He was all in Chaos. Tom O'Neill did a crazy background on Jolly West, and this lady Rebecca Lamov was her name, and she did she was like blowing my mind with some of this stuff about Jolly West. That was one of the best shows. His wife and his son committed suicide.
Really?
Yeah, Jolly West was a psycho, man.
Really?
And he was attached to all the craziest shit. He was attached to MKUltra. He was connected to Jack Ruby. He went in and visited Jack Ruby right before he went fucking insane after he killed Lee Harvey Oswald. And there's also that photo. I don't know if that photo is real. It looks real. We should ask AI what they think about it. But there's that photo of him on the set of 2001 Space Odyssey. Like we corroborated it with her. We're like, because
she said that was him?
She's a historian on Jolly West. Right. So we did like the math. There's the photo.
And where is West?
That's Jolly West right there in the back.
In the back right there?
Yeah.
He kind of looks like Al Hubbard.
That is so that's
look at Kubrick.
That's Kubrick right there. And that's what's his name?
Arthur C. Clarke.
Yeah.
Oh man, another genius.
And she's like, okay, what year was 2001 Space Odyssey? Oh, okay, what year did they shoot it? Where did they shoot it? Okay, that's what he would have looked like during that year before he grew a beard.
Look at the hairlines, man. They're perfect.
Look like him.
Yeah, I mean, look at the photos of him on the left, right?
So the one on the right, to the right there, next to the MKUltra book, that is him. Just to the right of that, right there.
Where?
This is right here.
That's really him. We know
this
for
is
sure.
really
yes, that's 100%.
Yeah,
him.
it does kind of look like him. Pictures can be deceiving, but
if that's Photoshop, that's pretty good Photoshop. This photo was really hard to find. So, like, if he was attached to 2001 Space Odyssey, and this guy's responsible for some of the most crazy, deceptive stuff the government was doing during the Cold War, like, what does this have to do with the moon landing?
Right. I saw 2001 at one Christmas, and I was living in Baltimore, and at DC, they projected it in 70 millimeter, which is the way it was, 70 millimeter film.
IMAX?
No, it wasn't IMAX. It was just at the American Film Institute. And dude, it was amazing.
What size is IMAX film?
It's 65, 70 millimeters.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the same?
I think it's 70 millimeters, but then some of them are 65. I don't know.
I've been to IMAX, but I don't exactly know what it is.
Yeah, I don't know exactly. It's just the size of the frames.
Huge. It's just a massive
It's huge, yeah. And a lot of the footage that was shot during the I recently watched the Apollo 11 documentary on Netflix. Oh. And they used a lot of the original footage that they were filming, like on the ground, like when the rocket was launching, of the people that were watching it, and like what was going on with the astronauts, like while they were preparing and stuff. And I was like watching it on TV, and I was like blown away by the quality of this footage. I'm like, wow, this is an amazing reenactment that they did. And I just recently had this guy on, Tim Dodd, who said that no, they were filming all that in IMAX back then. That's why the footage looks so amazing today.
Wow. Have you been to this thing in Las Vegas?
Mm-mm.
So what is it called? The Dome? The
Sphere.
The Sphere, yeah.
I have not been to that. Have you been there?
No, I haven't, but it looks cool.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. Apparently, Avi Loeb said they're putting a bunch of like telescopes on top of it to try to like find more interstellar objects.
Really?
Yeah.
Trippy,
but no, the Jolly West stuff is creepy. He was a part of that in Tom O'Neill's book, that Haight-Ashbury Clinic, where they were doing studies on amphetamines and psychedelics, right? Or acid. Yeah. It was LSD and amphetamines mixed together, and that's where.
Yeah. Hell of a combination.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
What do you make of that book?
I thought it was great. I loved it. I mean, I didn't buy all of I don't know about its main thesis.
What is the main? He didn't really come to a conclusion, right? Because he didn't have any smoking gun, but he basically had all the pieces put together. Right, he had the whole puzzle put together, but there was one centerpiece missing right there. He couldn't conclusively say.
Which would have been that Manson was MKUltra.
It was beyond a shadow of a doubt, we know that he was getting very special treatment from the feds.
Yeah.
Right? He was getting let out of prison when he shouldn't have been let out of prison. He was being visited by CIA-connected people. The CIA was funding that clinic that he was going to all the time.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of crazy coincidences. I've studied the Manson case for I should say this. I've had a very strong interest in it. Manson was from Kentucky, from Eastern Kentucky, and so we don't want to claim him, but he was.
He had a fucked up childhood.
Hillbilly musician. Yeah, his mom traded him for a bottle of whiskey. And
I had a little monkey, sent him to the country.
He's got, whatever. I don't want Sharon Tate's family coming after me, but some of those songs are pretty good.
What's that song? See if you can find that song. Game, girl. See if you can find that song on YouTube. What's the song where he's singing about the monkey?
Oh yeah, I don't know what it's called, but I know the song you're talking about. The album is called Lie. And it's got the garbage dump, my garbage dump. But then Guns N' Roses, of course, covered Look at Your Game Girl, which is probably his best, most well-known song. Yeah. There's a time for living. Yeah, that's a cool song. I mean, he's got a good voice. He wasn't like a great musician, but his voice is great, and he's a pretty good songwriter. Even Neil Young said, this guy's a great songwriter.
So that's it? Oh, it's just called Monkey. Let's hear it. Dude, he's got moxie.
Oh yeah. He had plenty of time to practice. That's for sure. Yeah.
That's catchy, bro.
Steve, play Look at Your Game, Girl. That's his best song.
You know, when Marilyn Manson recorded his first, not his first album, like second, his most popular album, Antichrist Superstar, he rented out the Tate house.
Well, Trent Reznor owned it.
Oh, did he?
Trent Reznor did the Downward Spiral there.
Oh, okay.
And then Sharon Tate's family gave him so much hell he got out of there.
Oh.
And then he moved to New Orleans.
So they recorded that Antichrist Superstar album in that house.
That's right, yeah. And he took the door with him, Reznor did, and I think put it in the studio in New Orleans.
No way.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Because they went to New Orleans and he was doing a super project that was Phil Anselmo from Pantera and Down, Superjoint Ritual, Maynard James Keenan from Tool,
Yeah.
Trent Reznor, and then one other one. I think it was called Tapeworm. You can find it online. Pretty cool. That would have been killer if they would have done that.
All right, play this one. As
far
far
as-
insane.
They're just some of the most compelling video that's ever been made. I mean, the Penny Marshall interview. You know, he does. Have you seen the interview he does with Ronald Reagan's son, Ronald Reagan Jr.?
No.
That's a great interview. But what's the main one? Is with
He did an interview with Ronald Reagan's son?
yeah, Ronald Reagan Jr.
See if you can find that.
Yeah, I don't remember why Ronald Reagan Jr. was interested in it, but yeah, he interviews him.
Whoa.
Who's the guy that does the really hostile interview? I can't remember his name.
Charles Manson's son gives exclusive interview.
Yeah, that's never been. Yeah, Ron Reagan Jr. See it right there?
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Wow.
Look at Manson.
You sit in your cell
I'm
and
allowed to do nothing.
yeah, you get out of your cell at all?
I
Except
get
for
out
these
the
kinds.
little square box about from there to there. Not very, no.
Is that where you get your exercise?
But if you call it exercise, not really exercise. They just got this excuse. They give excuses and they play you off. They're like they're doing something, but they're not. You know, not really.
Where do you have your meals? Do you eat in your
In
cell? or-
itself,
Yeah.
I'm forced to trust it, whether I like to eat from people's hands or not.
Yeah.
I'm holding the trust of California in my stomach.
You get a lot of letters. I know that. They said you get lots of mail here. Do you get mail from family members? Sandra
What are
Good?
family members?
Well, people that used to hang out with you. Sandra Good, I know, moved here.
Sandy's a good
Man, he
person.
looks
She's
just
one
like his
of the
mother in the
right
face,
off.
but has
Yeah,
some of
10
Reagan's
years
features
in prison.
too.
I was just gonna say, he doesn't look much like Reagan.
He looks like Nancy.
Don't say
Yeah.
she did it for me.
Yeah.
He died of AIDS, I believe.
Dude, who
You
did?
hear from her, though.
Ron
You
Reagan
guys
Jr.
all-
Yeah.
Really?
I think he did. Yeah.
Did you hear the story Hamilton told me about Reagan's wife?
No.
How they came up with the war on drugs?
Oh yeah. I mean, she was a huge crusader against that.
That's
stuff. Yeah.
her astrologist
that-
told her that
Oh,
to
really?
come up with that idea.
Oh, I didn't know that. Well, that was happening right whenever MDMA was legal, and then when it got banned, that was right around the same time that they gave that speech. We got to get rid of drugs, and they started DARE and all of that stuff. You know. Yeah. Manson, fascinating person. He can sing, can he?
Yeah, he can sing,
He
bro.
can sing.
That bro's he's got fucking
Yeah, Neil
moxie,
Young,
man.
you
He
know,
can shred that guitar.
He was up in Topanga Canyon when, Neil Young was making Harvest, Joni Mitchell, The Byrds, Gene Clark, The Beach Boys. Of course, Dennis Wilson from The Beach Boys, the drummer, his brother, Brian Wilson, was the head of the the genius from The Beach Boys who just died about a year ago. That's what he was mad about, is that they covered the Manson song. The Beach Boys covered a Charles Manson song, and he felt they changed things and he got mad. Two, he felt like he didn't get the money, and so he was mad at Dennis Wilson about it. So it was really a conflict. And they also, Terry Melcher, the producer, who lived
there, right?
He lived there, and he thought Terry Melcher still lived there.
That's one of the theories, is that Manson was going there to kill Melcher, and they found somebody else.
Yeah, and then somebody else lived there. Yeah, Doris Day's son, Terry Melcher. That is the most believable. The one that we have the most facts for and that makes the most sense to me is that that's what happened.
And it was just an unfortunate coincidence that was connected. His probation officer was letting him out of jail at every fucking turn, and he was also going to the CIA-funded clinic.
And the people that, I don't know how much you've watched of the Manson family and the girls who did it. You're not talking about the sharpest tools in the shed there. No. Tex Watson and the rest of them. They're not that bright. And they're insane. I mean, some of them were insane and even said we were completely out of their. I mean, you're taking that amount of amphetamine and LSD for that long and you're hanging around Charles Manson. If we were hanging around Charles Manson for an extended period of time, taking amphetamine and LSD, what would happen?
Yeah, that's
You're going to become deranged.
Of course.
And I just think that makes the most sense because how does it fit into the theory? I don't remember if he killed the LaBiancas because remember he killed the mom.
That was the next night.
Or it was the next night or the night before. I thought it was the night before, but I can't
maybe.
remember. But what does that fit into it? No, I mean he was there for that, whereas with the Tate murders he wasn't there.
The creepiest thing to me, I think, was that when the Tate murders happened, the first person to make a phone call about it was a guy who was a CIA operative. And Tom talks about this in his book. One of the guys, one of the more elusive dudes in this book, who was very, like, he made a solid case how this guy was connected to CIA. He was the first person to make a phone call. I forget who it was to though, but he made a phone call to somebody tipping them off about this. And this was way before the police got there and anything else. So how would this guy know about this?
Well, I think what you're going to have is imagine if you want to think about how trippy what is happening now is going to be to people in 50 years. Look at what's happening with the FDA, the Symphosia thing. There's all of this crazy. Well, they were may it have been a DA informant, and this people paid them, and Travis had written an article for them, and then he appeared on the Danny Jones show, and he had interviewed Noam Chomsky, and he was in the Epstein files. You can start making dots between everything. I think that's where caution comes in. You can make connections between everything.
Yeah.
It's just it's not that hard. Yeah,
that's so true.
It's easy.
It's easy.
And what is it? 6 degrees of separation. It's probably less than that now with the internet. Anybody can contact anybody now.
Yeah.
But the Manson thing is completely fascinating. I mean, it just is. I mean, I think everybody. I mean, people have been obsessed with it for so long because he's a charismatic figure. I mean, he's an interesting figure. And in the way in which he brilliantly put the society on trial and turned it around, which is the basis of natural born killers. When you see the interviews, he's just holding a mirror up to the society and saying, well, look at all the things you're doing, and now you want to blame me for all of this. He railed against Leary, Baba Ramdas. He said, Leary said, rise up and kill your parents. Why didn't you arrest him? Why isn't he in jail? What about Baba Ramdas? What about Abby Hoffman? He said, don't trust anybody over 30. Kill your parents. Why isn't he in jail? Now, of course, this is a con who had been in jail his entire life, who had developed very sophisticated self-defense mechanisms. But it makes for interesting watching.
Here's the thing. Yeah, it's interesting. But here's the question. What difference does it make?
What?
Whether he was working with, whether the CIA was in charge of him or not.
There you go.
What difference? Same thing with Kennedy, bro.
Yeah.
Where we Googled this, it was like 80% of the American public believes Lee Harvey Oswald wasn't acting alone. Like everyone knows the CIA was tied into this somehow.
Well, I think at one point it would have mattered, but I think now people are so disillusioned because so many things have happened since then. But I think at the time, you would have had people that they would have people who had maybe faith in government and institutions. But now it doesn't mean shit, as you said, because people are so profoundly cynical and disillusioned that it doesn't mean anything. People, like you say, people just assume that the official story isn't right.
Yes.
And it's led to a kind of toxic where nobody believes anything. I mean, that's the problem. The long-term consequences of covering shit up is eventually people are going to start going, I don't believe anything these people say. I don't believe anything they say. The Iraq, the other major hit was I graduated high school in 2001. I got out in June, September. I'm working at a factory in Virginia. The planes hit the tower. And then look at the lies. The New York Times Marine Dowd. Look at the lies they were putting out. Colin Powell, weapons of mass destruction. It was all lies. It's all lies. And we're only now feeling the consequences because they killed 1 million people, destabilized the region, caused a massive immigration crisis to where they're everywhere. People are coming here. People are coming there. The rise of autocracy. It's we happen to live in a time where people don't want to think about the consequences of their actions,
And you can make a lot of money fucking leaning into all this shit too. I mean, look at fucking Candace Owens, bro. Like,
I am absolutely amazed at what she's been able to do.
Isn't she saying now that the Charlie Kirk murder was like a time traveler Isn't she connecting this to time travel now?
Really?
That's the latest.
She has a
thing I heard.
massive audience, right?
Oh my God, it's astonishing.
Do you think she's just a pure con artist?
I don't think pure. I don't.
She's definitely
she's a tough
exploiting
one.
gullible people.
There's something that happens to people when they get tremendous success from one specific thing. Yeah. Right? Like from what? Like there's I don't know how much you follow sports. But there's this guy Skip Bayless, who's this like famous sports reporter, and he basically got the most attention in his early career from shitting on LeBron James, comparing like LeBron James is never going to be what Jordan is. You can't compare him to Jordan. Blah 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 blah. No nuance. LeBron James could not do anything right. He was just unabashedly shitting on LeBron James at every turn, and he got so much hate. He got so much love from the Jordan people and so much hate from the LeBron people. He started to turn into this character. He started leaning into that because he got so much more attention, and he kind of like lost the plot along the way. And he became the character he was playing. I think that can happen to people. I think
you start to believe your own bullshit.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Candace Owens causes concern after Charlie Kirk time traveler claim on another bizarre
this
theory.
whole thing. I mean,
look, I think she's on to a lot of stuff. Like I think she's like she has legitimate threads in this stuff, and she convinces herself that she's seeking the truth or whatever. But she's also playing a character, and she's also like, she gets so many listeners and views on her stuff. It's insane.
Yeah. But didn't she have a sort of a social justice grift that didn't work out before, and then she turned to this grift?
Yeah, I think really early on. Yeah.
And
then you have
she's
the whole
skilled at
the
it. Whatever
Daily
she's
Wire
doing,
thing.
she's skilled at it. Oh, right, I forgot about
She
that.
worked for the Daily Wire, then she left.
I mean, this guy seems to to me, it seems plausible that the guy that they think did it. To me, I mean,
really,
for what I haven't read reams of information on it, but from what
I haven't
I've read,
heard much about it. Really, I mean, I haven't heard much about the trial of that kid. Can you see what the latest is on that trial?
On the Charlie Kirk thing,
the kid who allegedly shot him. All I know is there's a load of ex-military people on the internet, and that I've talked to here, but like Delta Force people who say that there's no way that gun that they found and buried would have not blown through the back of him. Right, because there's like no exit wound. There's so many weird things. Like the FBI is not telling the whole story. For sure, the FBI is not telling the whole story here, and that's what leads to all these crazy fucking time traveler theories. If they're gonna block all this information and like twist. I mean, you see Kash Patel, bro. When it comes to the Epstein files, just trace it back to where this all started a couple months ago. There are no Epstein files. There were no victims. He trafficked to himself. He was a lone trafficker. That's what
Patel said?
That's what Patel was saying to in front of Congress, dude. Straight up, like it's.
He seems. Isn't he dating some country singer?
Oh my god! Oh yeah, and she's Mossad. Yeah. He's going on podcasts with his girlfriend, who's a country singer, trying to promote her country tour.
What a circus!
And half the internet believes that she's a Mossad agent.
Dude, we're in a golden moment. A golden moment.
Tyler Robinson. Okay, we got a ChatGPT breakdown here. 22-year-old charged with aggravated murder. Blah 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 blah. On February 3rd, just yesterday, right, or 2 days ago. 2 days ago, for a critical hearing regarding potential conflict of interest. What's the conflict of interest? His defense team is attempting to disqualify the Utah County Attorney's Office from the case. They argued the conflict exists because the 18-year-old of a deputy prosecutor was in the crowd. 18-year-old child of the prosecutor was in the crowd. Okay, yeah, I heard this. Yeah, man. And then there's the old guy who jumped up right after it happened, running around crazy, his pants falling down.
I think I read that he had sort of done this before, and that he's somebody who they kind of have to, every time a politician comes, he shows up and he screams, and they have to drag him out because he was saying, "I shot Charlie, shoot me, shoot me." Right.
But they're saying it could have been a diversion to give that kid time, or whoever was up on the roof, more time to escape.
Or he could have just been a wacko, since we have documented evidence from before that this guy is crazy. I mean, there's everybody, I don't know who you have around here, but everywhere I've lived, including in Louisville, Lexington, and Baltimore, there's always been crazy people that everybody's like, oh God, that's them. We have a guy in Louisville that he's schizophrenic and he's homeless and everybody knows him. He goes into restaurants. He starts moving. He'll walk into you're eating and he'll walk in. He'll start moving everything. He'll come up to the table and pretend to be the waiter.
That's awesome.
He's disturbed, but if you didn't know him, you may like I've been eating and he'll walk up to somebody's table and they don't know and they'll be like, oh yes, we'll have the moussaka and this, and he's just like and then walks away, and then the people, well, we ordered food.
I want to go
it's
to
like,
that
no,
restaurant.
that's Bill. He's
fucking
not right.
incredible.
Yeah, he was a professor and his dad was a professor, and a lot of times schizophrenia shows up 30, 35. He's totally normal.
Yeah.
And then
Just think about the fucking timeline in the last 12 months of all the stuff that's gone down. Trump almost getting his head blown off.
Yeah.
The Charlie Kirk thing on live TV all over the internet,
Yes.
fucking blood shooting out of him, the
Yes.
Epstein files coming out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just never, how do you keep track of all of it?
It does
You just gotta
seem-
disconnect at some point and just be like,
Yeah.
you can't possibly track all this stuff and stay sane.
It's not healthy. It does seem to be some massive purging. I mean, there's just, it's not good. It's not good. I mean, being hooked up to an electronic device all the time is not healthy. But you can see it's just driving people insane.
Mm-hmm.
And then the guy who tried to shoot Trump on the golf course, I saw yesterday.
Oh,
he
yeah,
got life
death
in
penalty.
prison. And again, you could spin a conspiracy. He was in Ukraine. He was some wacko trying to get attention. He had been to Ukraine trying to get attention. You could spin a conspiracy theory about it, but the most likely one is that he's an insane grifter, which
Yeah.
is what he looks like. And even people that know him are like, look, this is just a guy who wanted attention.
Yeah.
I mean,
He was trying to promote his Rumble page.
did he really have a Rumble
I
page?
don't know.
Oh, I was like, oh, that would be awesome. That would be amazing.
How about the rise of this guy, Nick Fuentes? He's like the
Yeah.
number one like young guy political commentator in the world right now.
He is.
And he's like
And
this,
he worked for Kanye West.
and he worked for Kanye West. He's like this chaos agent.
Yeah.
And he's like the number one fucking guy.
Man, we are a country and always there's a great book called American Humor by Constance O'Rourke. It goes into the archetypes of sort of our fundamental archetypes of America, the pioneer. And we have always been a country that produced in spades. There's sort of P.T. Barnum types, circuit riding preacher types of crazy people. It's kind of it was a new world, a new land. And people like him, entrepreneurial, self-made, they pick up intuitively on what's happening and find themselves a place in it and know that by saying certain shit, you're going to get attention. They see an opening in the market.
Yeah.
And in that sense, you're like, look, this is what this country is. I mean, I don't mean that as a criticism. I mean, it's just
you're right.
part of the character of our country. Character is destiny. And if you think about like I mentioned that Constance O'Rourke book, sort of look at where our country comes from and its roots, and you can start to think, ooh, if character is destiny, we might be in trouble.
Yeah.
Because we're not. It's a 250-year. I heard you on your show. I can't remember who it was. You were talking about Thomas Paine and Common Sense.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's a 250th anniversary of Common Sense, right? And so there's been a lot of articles coming in about Thomas Paine. New York Times has had 4 or 5. They've been everywhere. Substack, everywhere. Great articles about all the crazy things about Thomas Paine. But
he was like one of the founding fathers who wasn't actually a founding father. He was close to all those guys.
Exactly. Yeah, they hated him. Like James Madison's wife called him a lunatic. He was a pariah. I mean, and people said he was bipolar.
Mm-hmm.
Going back and reading it, you have to decide for yourself. I mean, not just his ideas, but he was certainly radical. For him, the Constitution didn't go far enough. I didn't know that he allocated the profits of the book, which was he inflated. He said it sold 500,000 copies or 250,000 copies. So he was also a self-promoter. But he allocated the money to Washington and Washington's army. And then he ends up turning against Washington because he says the Constitution is for the elites.
Yeah.
There's not enough democracy. And then these are things people are beginning to think about. How much democracy do you want?
Yeah.
When you have a lot of idiots, is it a good thing?
Right.
I don't know. These are serious questions that have never been answered.
Well, wasn't Solon's democracy, wasn't it like, weren't there certain like rules? to be able to like vote and stuff?
In America?
No. In like the ancient world.
Oh,
like
I
when
don't know.
Solon and Plato wrote about democracy.
Oh yeah, I don't
Wasn't
know.
it like you had to have a certain stake or something in that civilization, in that culture to be able to
Probably.
participate? Like not just.
I mean, in
maybe I'm
Ameri-
wrong. Maybe it wasn't just like the layman could vote.
Yeah.
But I mean, it makes sense. You know, like if you're going to vote, you should be able to pass like you should be able to prove you have some sort of comprehension. I mean, I could probably make an argument for both sides.
Yes.
But like, there's definitely an argument to where like, just like taking a driver's license test to be able to drive a car, you should be able to take some sort of comprehension test to be able to like to vote.
Yeah.
Not that voting even fucking matters.
Well, people's fondness for democracy does seem to hinge on whether or not the person they like wins. If the person they like wins, democracy is great. When the person they like loses, then we need to get rid of democracy. You know,
Yeah.
right? Every time the Republican went, well, we got to get rid of the Electoral College. You know, otherwise it's fine. But you know, if who I like wins,
Right.
then the system is great.
Well, did you see that fucking article that just came out from Seymour Hersh?
Oh yeah, he's great.
Dude, he was writing about the ICE stuff, all the ICE shit that's going on in Minnesota, and apparently there's this dude, Stephen something, in Trump's cabinet in the White House. Stephen Miller.
Yeah.
Who came up with these proposals, I guess, to the White House or to the administration or whatever, to like intentionally sow chaos to disrupt the midterm elections because Trump, his approval rating in the polls are like really bad for him right now.
Yeah.
And one of the things that Seymour Hersh is, I guess he's been wrong before, but I mean, what the case he's making in that Substack article is that they could be trying to disrupt this stuff to like delay or postpone the midterm elections or something like this so they don't lose the House and the Senate.
Yeah, it could be possibly. I mean, Trump said the Republicans ought to nationalize the elections in like 12 states where he just happened to lose. Right. The Constitution says that, you know, it must be the states, but he says let's nationalize it. So yeah, who knows? There's nothing I wouldn't put past the administration, and it is a heavy emphasis on spectacle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the Maduro thing. I mean, they snatched Maduro, but the vice president, Darcy, whatever her name is, Rodriguez, or
she's the same regime.
It was
right?
just
they
vice
just decapitated the regime. It's not a regime change.
No, it's not a regime change. You know, which is why there's not total. I assume that why there's not total chaos. But then what was the point? It seems to have just been a spectacle, an old timey '80s Rambo spectacle of let's snatch the guy.
You want to hear the craziest take I heard about this? Was that I heard this on Kurt Metzger's show. He did this podcast with this dude, this professor in China, who was saying that Maduro has been a CIA asset forever. Oh. And this whole thing was like a planned operation, and he went with them. He agreed to go with them. And part of what's going to happen, part of this deal or whatever, is that when Maduro's show trial finally happens, he's going to talk about how Venezuela helped steal that election during the Trump-Biden.
Oh.
Remember those fucking voting machines?
I read something about this.
Yeah.
Because they want to get rid of the voting machines.
Right.
But I also heard that someone in the administration wants Maduro to say something, you know, like we were interfering in the elections in this desperation to prove that it was an illegitimate election. I mean, again, it's convoluted.
Yeah,
Who knows? I don't think so. This man does not appear to have been kidnapped to me, but you never know. You never know. And it was him and his wife.
You mean wearing that sick ass fucking Nike jumpsuit or whatever it was that he was wearing? You think he had that planned out?
Yeah. How weird.
Oh, God.
Why did you put a bottle of whiskey in front of me, Danny Jones?
Oh, because we got to drink whiskey. We have cups. We do have cups. We got coffee mugs, but we don't have ice. Do we have ice?
Oh, you don't.
No. We have cold water.
We have cold water. Well, we have an ice machine. We just haven't. I don't think it works. We got to plug it in. I got to take a leak real quick.
Yeah.
We'll be right back. Cheers, bro.
Hey, I completely buy into this, and I do too. I want to join. We drove by my cab driver, Uber driver. He drove me by the headquarters, and I was like, "Is that the courthouse?" He's like, "No, it's Scientology headquarters." I was like, "Damn, Clearwater's got an amazing courthouse."
Dude, L. Ron Hubbard had his ship parked right over there.
He did?
Right on the water right there.
So he was over here himself.
This was the original church. This was like where it all started, was right here. The one in L.A. came after.
So this, Wow, that's amazing. Hey, there is this guy from Kentucky who was in the military with L. Ron Hubbard, and he started a competing religion that's like a janky Scientology, and it's
Really?
called Ekanar. Have you ever heard of it?
No.
Yeah, it's called Ekanar. You can look it up. And his name was shit, you'll have to look it up. I forgot it. But he's from Western Kentucky, where I'm from, and he knew L. Ron Hubbard, and he was like, I'm going to start a religion. And he was a door-to-door salesman.
No shit.
Yes, and it's still around. It's still around. Now, it's
Look
different.
it up.
It's a little bit, I think he incorporates kind of more Hindu type stuff. Yeah, it's Ekanar, Eckanar. And there are people, oh yeah, this is it. Started by Paul Twitchell, that's it.
Wow.
Oh, look, the home is in Minnesota.
You know, Scientology is no fucking worse than like ancient religion, any ancient religion. It's
just a religion,
It's
yeah.
just a fucking religion. The only
Yeah.
difference is the guy who started it died in like modern times.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah, I'm very, I don't know.
Wow, look at that.
Oh, that's their headquarters. Wow, okay, they got more money than I thought they did. Look,
That's
it looks
baller.
yeah. Yeah,
In
they're-
Minnesota, no less.
yeah. The Living Eckmaster. It's a little, I don't know, but Scientology's kind of crazy too. So
You
maybe
know,
it's
L. Ron Hubbard stole Jack Parsons' wife. He like ran away with Parsons' wife.
Was
they were
it
boys.
Marjorie Cameron, or was it
I don't know her
another one?
name.
Because you know some of these people are in those films. You know the films of Kenneth Anger. I bet you would if you saw him. If you don't know him by name, but
Sounds familiar.
they've got. He was. He made a movie with Jack Parsons' wife, Marjorie Cameron, the Wormwood. I think she's called the Wormwood Woman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those films, and they've in those movies they've got Bobby Beausoleil, who was part of the Manson family. You know, he was going to play Satan. He was going to play Lucifer in the film Lucifer Rising, but he got busted with the Manson family, so they replaced him with Mick Jagger.
No way.
And that soundtrack on some of those is Jimmy Page from Led Zeppelin.
What?
They're all like heavy satanic. Like
What movie?
Lucifer Rising,
Lucifer Rising.
Scorpio Rising, which is the best one.
Oh, I need to watch this.
And
stuff.
the one is called, it's got Anton LaVey from the church. It's called Inauguration of the Pleasure Dome. That's the one with Jimmy Page. Or no, that's the one with Mick Jagger does the soundtrack on a Moog keyboard. They're the most badass occult movies ever made. And they've got all of these people we're talking about are in the films. Yeah. The guy, Kenneth Anger, who made them, just died. He was like 100, I think. He just died not too long ago. Very weird, interesting. Yeah, there you go. Bobby
What
Beausoleil.
year? 1980. Oh, it was completed in 72 and it was distributed in 80.
What
Bobby
a gap.
Beausoleil. No fucking way.
He's alive. He's in prison. You should interview him. He's a musician. He makes records.
What
and
prison is he in?
I don't know. Look it up. I don't know where he's at.
Find out what prison this guy's in,
That's
bro.
him, Beausoleil.
Beausoleil. Look at this. Look at this. Wow.
Gary Hinman. See, the stabbing of Gary Hinman was the teacher who they got into this bad drug deal.
Yeah.
And they said that Manson cut his
California.
ear off.
Yeah.
He accused Manson of cutting his ear
Right.
off.
Oh, yeah. I remember this.
Yeah. I think he was from, is he from Texas? No, Santa Barbara.
God, that book is so good, bro. The Chaos book. I just wish I could read it in like a period of a week. It's
Yeah.
so long. It took me like 2 months to read
The
it.
documentary was disappointing.
Oh, yeah. It was nowhere near as good as I thought it was going to be.
He was trying to. Did you get the sense that he was trying to undermine the book? I think he was, because
I'd have to watch it again.
he said on your podcast, I think, where Tom O'Neill said that at one point Errol Morris was his co-author. That to get a bigger advance from Penguin, they signed Errol Morris on as
I
co-author.
never heard that.
Yeah.
I heard it was this other guy, Dan Piping.
No, first it was Errol Morris. And
I didn't
that's,
know that.
And that's how he got the film rights, and then they ended up getting into it.
Whoa.
I think he said it on your podcast. I'm not
That's crazy because Errol Morris is a legendary, one of my favorite filmmakers of all time.
Oh, he's great. He's one of America's best documentary filmmakers.
He is. You ever seen Mr. Death?
Yes. I've seen all of his movies.
I talked to him yesterday, by the way. Mr.
Yeah.
Death. I called him up. Yeah, his wife just died.
He's alive?
He's alive.
Really? Yeah,
Oh,
that's,
yeah, we're getting
that's,
him down here.
That's one of the greatest ones. And then, did you see the one with a tabloid about the Mormon woman who like forces that guy to have sex with her? The Mormon missionaries. You should watch that one. That one's really weird. He's got a lot of weird movies.
He has a lot of weird movies. That's why I like him.
Yeah, he's great. He's got the Vernon, Florida. Vernon, Florida. The
Oh, yeah.
Vernon, Florida, Thin Blue Line. He's
Yeah,
got-
Hamilton was saying he helped work on that.
Did he?
That latest one about the Manson stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a disappointment. I mean, I didn't think it was going to be anything great.
Well, I heard Tom was pissed about it.
I got the sense that he was trying to not debunk the book, but it was against the argument of the
Why
book.
would he do that? I don't know.
Because angry about the deal that happened, I guess. I don't know. This is what O'Neill said. This is not my opinion. This is
Oh,
what
really?
O'Neill said. Yeah. Now, whether it's true, I don't know. But
Yeah.
this is what O'Neill was saying. Because I was like, okay, because, the book took, what, like 20 years or something? Or longer? Yeah. And so he had got an advance, and then the publisher sued him, and then he got a bigger advance, and then the one way he got the bigger advance was by Morris signing on, and Yeah.
I don't know about
Crazy
that.
shit. What do you think of this Basil
This is
Hayden?
good whiskey. It's very smooth.
It's amazing, isn't it?
I haven't had this in a long time. I never drink anymore.
Really. Just Kratom. Just White Rabbit, baby.
Yeah, no more alcohol.
Can we get
just drinks
Kratom with
No more alcohol. I'm just getting fucked up on Kratom, bro.
I don't really use Kratom now. We need a Kratom infused whiskey.
You've had it before, haven't you?
Kratom?
Yeah.
Never. No.
This is the first time?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just drinking it in this. I don't notice anything, but
Yeah. Well, not mixed with the fucking beer and the whiskey. You're not
hey,
gonna know as
hold
much.
on, no. Yeah, we got some Greek beer.
Is that what it is? Greek beer.
Yeah, there's a Turkish place down the road that was excellent. Did I show you? My Uber
Is
driver
there
sold me
ergot
his
in that
book.
Greek beer?
No, there's no ergot, no. Or else I'd be hallucinating by now.
Yeah. Yeah, the Scientology stuff around here is crazy, man. A lot of the companies around here this whole like block is owned by Scientologists. The crazy thing about Scientologists is that they're all super wealthy.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
May
most
not
of
be
them.
a coincidence.
I wouldn't put it that way. That's putting it backwards. I would say all of the most wealthy people in this area are Scientologists.
Yeah. Yeah. And so my Uber driver explained to me, I don't think he's a scholar of Scientology, but he claimed that they take 20% of your income. Is that right? It's kind of like,
I don't know. I'm not sure.
he had very good things to
The
say
thing is,
about it.
I've never heard any good things about, the people I've talked to, the documentaries I've watched, they all paint Scientology in this horrible light. They do slavery. They have the fucking cadet war where they take your kids and they put them in this place where they're malnourished, not taken care of. Like very.
The Alex Gibney movie.
The Alex
Going
Gibney
Clear.
movie, Going Clear, and
He
like
could be funded
stalking
by the
people.
Catholic Church. Let's start a conspiracy.
Taunting people. You know what I mean? Like fucking with people and harassing them and stuff.
Yeah.
But I've never heard a Scientologist argue against it.
Really?
Right? Have you? Have you ever heard a Scientologist like make their case against this stuff?
Well, except for, I think the only time is when Cruz was on Oprah jumping up and down on the couch. That was the only time. You know, the famous
was
moment?
she challenging him on it?
Well, they were talking about prescription drugs, I think. Yeah, I think she was saying, I think he was just, my memory of it is
That was
he
Matt Lauer.
No, it was Tom Cruise.
No.
Oprah.
Matt Lauer interviewing Tom Cruise about
it wasn't
drugs.
Oprah?
Oh, really?
It wasn't Oprah, you're saying.
Well, he was definitely on Oprah too.
Yeah,
I
he was
thought-
on Oprah.
Yeah, he was jumping up and down on Oprah's.
He was jumping up and down on Oprah talking
What
about
happened to
his
Matt Lauer get
relationship with
canceled?
Katie.
Oh.
Yeah, he was so excited.
Oh, I
He's
thought
elated.
there was some spat to where he was talking about, because aren't they against psychiatric drugs? I think they are.
I think so.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it was Matt Lauer.
And so, are you from here, Danny? You're from?
Yeah, I was born and
Cleveland?
raised here.
But you never, did you go to school with a bunch of Scientologists? No. Really? So did they educate
I
their
went to
own
like
people?
a very low end public school, bro.
Oh, really? I knew there was a reason I liked you.
No, I didn't, and I didn't I was south of here. I was not in like the Clearwater area.
Okay.
So I didn't really get exposed to it until I got older and learned more. I think when I actually I had always heard about it, because I had a lot of growing up, I had a lot of a lot of my friends came from wealthy families.
Okay.
And going through, driving through Clearwater, hanging out with people in Clearwater, there was always this lore of Scientologists who would roam around the streets. They look like robots. They always wear those same outfits with the fucking vest or whatever. Huh. And those are the people that belong to the C organization. Those are the worker bees of Scientology, right? And you'd always hear about they're weird, they don't talk and, whatever. And I never really learned about what it was until I watched Alex Gibney's documentary on HBO.
But so was your general, just say your high school or middle school, was your general perception of them negative? Do you think
just weird?
Local people these people are a cult or something?
No, I mean, maybe not really. The general perception as a kid or as a young person was that they're just weirdos. I never really knew what it anything about it until I saw the HBO documentary. They leave people alone for the most part. They do their own thing.
Sounds like a great religion.
It sounds like a normal religion.
They don't recruit. They won't knock on your door like the Latter-day Saints.
They've never tried to recruit me. No.
No. Well,
I've had a lot of Jehovah's Witnesses come to my door, try to recruit me, but I've never had a Scientologist try to recruit me.
Right.
I've heard stories of people trying to get recruited into Scientology, but I think they're trying to recruit people that have a lot of money.
Yeah.
They're trying to donate.
Religions.
They
always
things.
need money. Why do they always need money?
Yeah, we need to get an advocate for Scientology to come on here and debate somebody.
I really think you should, because I'm curious to hear their side of the story.
I'm really curious. Yeah, and that's the thing. Well, that's allegedly one of the problems is that they're not allowed to be around somebody who disparages Scientology because
Is that true?
because apparently they have this like rule book where
get
like
that from Islam.
you can't be around people that are against you or that talk negative about you or whatever, because that's it's naughty and you get written up by other Scientologists. There's like
I don't like that.
Apparently there's a big culture of snitching in there. So like if you're a Scientologist, you see your friend Scientologist use your phone or do something against the cult or whatever, they'll write you up and you'll have to like scrub the toilets with your toothbrush or something.
Their stock is dropping in my mind. Okay, you know. Like
and this is all alleged. I don't know if any of it's real.
I don't want to say too much about this, but didn't the founder or the head honcho, didn't his wife disappear?
Yeah, that's the story.
I mean, does the FBI not looking into this? I mean, what the hell?
Do you see how they fucking got established as a religion? Remember in the movie how they had like thousands of people sue the IRS?
Yeah.
And eventually they got like the IRS to cave in and be like, okay, fuck it. Leave us alone. You're a religion. You're tax exempt.
Amazing.
And they had that huge fucking, that huge symposium celebrating how they were now tax exempt.
Wow.
I mean, it looks like one of those crazy Nazi rallies.
Yeah.
You know, with those big fucking statues and the people, he marches out there like this, you know, him and Tom Cruise with their
What's his name?
ribbon on. What's the guy's name who runs Scientology?
David
Miscavige.
David Miscavige. Did you see The Master, which was roughly based with Philip Seymour Hoffman, roughly portraying, I think it was his last film, portraying L. Ron Hubbard? It's pretty badass. It's worth watching.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's, what's his name, who made Requiem for a Dream?
Oh, yeah.
What the hell? You saw that, right?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
I'm going to be on television. What's it? Darren Aronofsky. I think it's either him or Paul Thomas Anderson.
Yeah, 200. Yeah, so in 1993, they're they got their tax exempt status by 2,500 lawsuits against the IRS from all their members. The church paid back. The church had to pay a $12.5 million settlement to end the disputes, gaining exemption for 153 entities, allowing donations to be tax deductible.
Did you see the Rogan episode where he has Miscavige's dad on?
I did. I had Miscavige's dad on too.
Oh,
did?
It
was remote though.
Rogan kind of treated him pretty harshly. I mean, I think he deserved it. He seems kind of like a grifter. I hate to say that, but
The dad did?
I thought so. Rogan gave him hell.
Well, I think they started the interview where Rogan read like a statement from Scientology.
He did. Yeah. But also the dad was like, I'm going to be a rock and roll star, and they ruined my career.
Really?
And I think Rogan kind of picked up on this guy might be kind of
probably.
a grifter.
I think Rogan was probably also fed up with the Scientologists harassing him over interviewing Scientologists.
Oh, because he had Leah
Remini.
Leah Remini. Yeah, she's interesting. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm.
She left, right? Mm-hmm. She left. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And what about Travolta as a part of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's weird. What the hell? Huh.
There was also the guy who had that scandal, the sexual abuse scandal recently.
That doesn't narrow it down.
In
Russell
DXM?
Simmons?
He was an actor connected to Ashton Kutcher.
Oh, David, that kid from the 70s show.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think his name was Daniel.
He got this. They threw the book at his ass. I don't think he's getting out. I don't remember what he did, but I just remember he was in deep shit.
Yeah. Scientology.
Yeah, he was a Scientologist.
Fine.
That's right.
They're fine right now, bro. They
David
got nothing
Masterson.
Masterson. Yeah, that's what it is.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. Clearwater. So
They
his
got Epstein's out now. I mean, Scientology, they're smooth sailing. They got nothing to worry about with all this
They're
Epstein
probably
shit.
loving the Epstein stuff. They're like,
yeah, baby. Keep pumping it out.
That's the real call.
People are going to forget about us and our tax exempt fucking status.
So is the boat that Hubbard was on over there, or have they had to like sink that and come up with a new boat? Is it?
I don't know what happened to it. I think he eventually went over to the Mediterranean.
Oh, he did.
He eventually made his way over there to try to escape.
And this was to avoid law enforcement?
Yeah, because that was before the tax exempt stuff. That was to avoid the FBI and the law enforcement and the IRS and I think all that stuff. And they didn't get tax exempt until well after he died.
Now, I was surprised to go back and read Doors of Perception, Aldous Huxley, Doors of Perception, the big drug book. He was pretty influenced by Scientology. I'm not going to say he was a Scientologist, but the ideas are in there, and he talks favorably of Dianetics and Hubbard.
Yeah.
Yeah, William Burroughs. A lot of people got.
Have you ever
caught
read
up in-
Dianetics?
No, I haven't, but I would like to.
I would like to as well. I've heard that it's great.
He was kind of a, correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't he like kind of a pulp science fiction author writing?
Well, he wrote more science fiction, I think, than anybody. Like he has more published science fiction than anyone. And apparently it was dog shit science fiction.
Yeah. Yeah, he's no Philip K. Dick.
No.
Yeah, but hey, I mean, look at what he's created. Pretty incredible. It just seems so unlikely that you could do that.
Weird too. All of the top remote viewers that were in the CIA's remote viewing program were Scientologists.
Really?
Like Hal Puthoff and Ingo Swann.
Now, could you explain to me what the basis of remote viewing is? So you are somehow able to.
It's like psychic espionage.
Okay.
So they get a bunch of people in a room, and the handler gives these remote viewers a point in time and a geographical location, like geographic coordinates, and they say, do your meditation and go here and tell us what you see. And these remote viewers, basically they go there, and sometimes most of the time they don't get like a full sensory overload like we are experiencing right now. Sometimes they just get like bits and pieces of like, I feel like there's somebody, old woman, blonde, outside cafe, and they're supposed to be like getting this information from, so they're corroborating this stuff with multiple people and trying to figure out, they're trying to basically add context to their spies on the ground in that area to confirm, or
so it's like intuition.
Kind of like that. They're kind of like, yeah, they're it's some sort of like extrasensory perception where they can like they can pick up on things that are happening across the world and also across time.
There used to be a famous woman on TV. She was like Ricky Lake or Maury and something Brown. I don't remember her name, but she did this. Do you remember this? You're too young. This was like the 90s. This woman was really famous. And, it was, like Miss Cleo.
Yeah.
Miss Cleo, they would have, but this woman was more legit than her. She was almost like Oprah. She was famous. She was like Dr. Phil. She was Dr. Phil. She's somebody, I think she went on Oprah. She was everywhere. And this is what she did. And some of it seemed to be kind of like there was something to it. Obviously, some people have more intuition than others. Yeah. Everybody knows somebody who has no intuition and somebody who is pretty good at picking up things. Pattern recognition.
Totally. Yeah.
I mean, if intelligence is a hard thing to measure, weigh, and a hard thing to define. Yeah. But one definition would be pattern recognition. And, I can see, that's her. Oh my gosh, she was horrible.
Christ.
Is she alive?
Oh my God.
Sylvia Brown,
baby.
She died in 2013.
The psychic network, that's it. Oh no, look, the fake psychic that ruined lives.
Oh no.
I remember seeing her promos on like the Sci-Fi Channel.
Maybe she was real. Maybe she really was a psychic.
She was popular, man. Her show was on all the time. The Crypt of Sylvia Brown.
Yeah. Bro, remember the story, the La Chirera story with Terrence and his brother? And how they said that they were just like, they had, instead of eating like for their calories during the day, for breakfast, lunch, dinner, they were just eating mushrooms.
Yeah.
And how he explained that like after a week or two of tripping, they were communicating telepathically.
Yeah.
What did you make of that, bro?
Well, I think Dennis's explanation that they were just bombed is probably the best.
They were bombed, but like communicating telepathically is in the Amazon.
Yeah. I mean, Dennis has said something several times like, when I'm on psychedelics, I don't know whether I can't figure out whether I'm discovering the secrets of the universe or just like bombed. And everybody, that's what they do. That's what they do. Everybody has that. What I'm telling you, I've done psychedelics many times outside of that Hopkins trial. And most times I'm like, if I can just remember this after this is over, this is it.
Yeah.
And it is providing some insights. But I think the trouble people have pointed out is that some people don't know the difference between it's hard to tell the difference between the real insights and the
have a
hold
slippier,
on, I just realized I am God.
Right. Some people have a more slippery grip on reality to start with.
Yes.
And it's not good for those types of folks.
Well, I thought that was brilliant whenever you had Rick Strassman on here, and right when you guys opened up, you asked him something about DMT, and he said, well, a few times a year I'll get a email or a letter from somebody that says, hey, little Jimmy took DMT and little Jimmy ain't little Jimmy no more. Right. He now thinks he's the Messiah.
Did he say that about DMT?
Yeah. about DMT.
They get this messianic complex.
They
Well,
get-
it's like it amplifies.
Yes.
It amplifies like the deepest parts of your psyche, right? Brings them to the surface.
Well, it's a feeling, and you get this feeling. And when you have this feeling of an epiphany, I mean, that's what it does, is provide an epiphany. And for some people,
Right.
this is extremely therapeutic.
And
You're
meaningful.
like,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know, I kind of am the source of my own problems. And maybe me being a fucking asshole is causing me a lot of problems. And some people change. And you're like, whoa, psilocybin helped that person.
Mm-hmm.
Other people seem to have what in the psychedelic literature they call false insights, but that's kind of a slippery term. But they have an insight that may not be so helpful because, you know, maybe it's the QAnon shaman.
Or
you know,
they
whatever.
make those fucking psychedelic insights the meaning of their whole lives. They literally gets baked into their waking conscious lives every moment of every single day.
Yeah.
They wrap their identity in it.
Yeah, I really question this, what's always been dogma, that these things are not addictive.
Ooh, got it.
They're obviously, what was it, a gnat?
It's a gnat, dude. I fucking got it.
Kill that son of a bitch. Mr. Miyagi over there.
Yeah, bro.
Whoopsh.
It's the whiskey.
Yeah, Basil Hayden. Shout out to Jim Beam. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Whenever I've done DMT, right after when I got out of it, I always like voice record everything. I'll sit there like for 10 minutes and I'll just talk about what it was because you forget it so quick, you know?
And when you go back to it, how would you describe the nature of these recordings? What are they?
You know what? I don't think I've ever gone back and listened to them.
Really?
They're there though.
But at the time,
NSA could get them.
Steve, just cue those up real quick.
Yeah, I'd love to.
I think the last time I did it, if I can remember, I mean, it's like a slippery, a loose grip on a memory of what I experienced was like,
Yeah.
I remember I was in my backyard at night and I heard you're supposed to do it during everyone says you got to do it during the day. It's better during the day.
Really?
I've never done it during the day, but I did it at night in my backyard and I felt like my trees were talking to me.
Really?
Yeah. And I felt like my trees were telling me like, how insignificant I am.
Yes.
And how like they are the real world and I am just like a temporary insignificant fucking passerby.
Yeah.
And they were just like, they had knowledge. The trees were telling me like they had knowledge of the universe and of the earth that I will never know.
Yeah.
And I could never comprehend. And, you know, it made me feel like I was some sort of like I was beamed in from like a video game, you know, and eventually I'm going to get beamed out and they're still going to be there. That's basically the idea. And then I texted.
Seems like a good insight.
I texted this guy I know about it, who's done a lot of DMT, and I was like, "Yo, check this out. This is what I got from this trip. What do you think?" He's like, "Oh no, that's wrong. You got that wrong, brother. That wasn't correct." I'm like, "Okay." Like, what the fuck? That's what you get
stay away
with
from
the
this person.
messianic complex that people get when they're experienced fucking psychedelic people and they think that they know.
I think this might be the problem with it because the people that are already humble, I mean, the cure, if there's a medicine to it, it's the humiliation. It is this feeling of, God, I'm insignificant, you know, the ego is, well, you know, I'm just a small person. I don't know all of these things. It's you know, I was used to say, it's a sobering experience. There's a contradiction. The psychedelic experience, which the caricature of it is, yo, there's pink elephants and I saw this, man, the 60s kind of, you know, hallucinations. But really, at its best, it's this sobering experience of like, wow, oof, that was heavy. But I think maybe the problem with it is the people that are predispositioned to have that kind of trip are probably the people that don't need it as much, and the people that need to do it either won't do it or it has the ego inflation effect, which I'm noticing more and more. I don't know if it's the pairing of the internet plus psychedelics. There's something in our contemporary culture that seems to me that it's having more of the ego inflation effect. But that could also be the data that I'm using, which are just people that are trying to popularize it rather than your everyday people that are not talking about it, because we know that psychedelic use is now is widespread.
Yeah.
I mean, more people have got to be using psychedelics than ever before, as far as we know.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, like my whole view on it before I tried it is far different from what I feel like it really is.
Yeah.
You know, like I had this perception maybe a false perception that like it could be the cure to everything. You know, if all the world leaders took psychedelics together and did kumbaya, like it would fix everything. Like it is
Absolutely.
It's the fix.
Yes.
For everything that's going wrong in the world.
Yes. This is the fundamental trip. I mean, this is what happens to everybody.
Yeah.
You know, this is what happened to me, and I told everybody who would listen, look, I know how to fix this. Is the only problem is once you have it, I immediately, in my mind, and lots of other people do too, is you do it and you go, look, okay, I know now for a fact that this is what everybody has to do. The only question is, how do we get people to do it? And this is where the religion thing becomes extremely attractive. Because you go, hold on a second, what if they used to use this in church? There's a lot of churches and there's a lot of religions. This could be a way that very quickly we get a lot of people to do this. We're about to find out. It's growing. I mean, the psychedelic churches are popping up everywhere.
Are they really?
Yeah. There's a big one, and the biggest one I think that I read, there's a piece in The Guardian about, I think it's called Gaia Church. It's in Spokane, Washington. They're suing the DEA. They're suing the DEA because they stormed in and took their drugs. Yeah. And so they're
the Gaia Church?
Look it up and see if you can see
GAIA?
it. It's in Spokane. There's a big piece in The Guardian about it. And, you know, people's attitudes have changed on this. They don't believe the old propaganda anymore. They don't believe it. People know that there's something to it, but it's just, I don't think we'll ever really get a handle on it because it's, as you pointed out a minute ago, it's noetic. You know what William James called noetic. You can't, there it is. The Church of Gaia in Spokane.
The Church of Gaia in Spokane, Washington has all the makings of a traditional place of worship, regular gatherings, communal songs, member donations, except they also serve ayahuasca, a psychedelic substance that can induce nausea and at times projectile vomiting.
Projectile vomiting. Yeah, baby.
Oh, God. That's one. I have no desire to ever try ayahuasca.
I've never tried it either.
I have no desire. Sounds terrible.
You know, we had the guy in Kentucky, of course, all the people. We've already got this reputation for being backwards. And, of course, the biggest dumbass in the state, I hate to say that, but it's true, was the guy who they gave a Vice show, Kentucky Ayahuasca, and he had a Native American church in his trailer.
What?
I was like, why do we have to get this guy of everybody? Can't we get somebody smart?
Dude was telling me this morning that he heard there was a new plant that was discovered that has NN-DMT, 5-MeO-DMT, and an MAI, whatever it is, inhibitor in it.
All of them.
It has everything baked into the plant.
Do you have
Have you heard of this?
No.
I don't think I have any.
What was it called?
No,
He didn't
I've
tell me
never
what it was
heard of
called,
this.
but
So
it's
it's
a-
a plant or it's a mushroom?
It's a plant that contains 5-MeO and the, what is the MAO inhibitor? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, MAO inhibitor, yeah.
And the MAO inhibitor.
Okay, yeah, okay. So, you know, in ayahuasca, they got to take the different ingredients to get both of them in there. So this has everything.
Exactly. So this is like the cat's meow.
All right. What is it? Oh, changa.
Changa, you've heard of this?
Yes,
It's a
yeah.
smokable. Oh, wait. Is this a plant or what? Is this a synthetic thing?
No, I think it's this. This is the thing. What is that called? I read about this. There's a great Rave New World. Do you know Rave New World?
No.
It's a Substack. I can't remember the woman's name, but she's great. And she wrote about this.
Mimosa hostilis root bark and Psychotria verdis leaves are common. Is this one plant that contains all of this, Steve?
No, this is a blend of plants.
Okay, this was one plant he was telling me about
this
that
is a
contains
blend.
everything.
Oh, just hit add to cart.
Don't
Steve.
put new plant. Just put plant that contains 5-MeO-DMT and the MAO inhibitor. MEO inhibitor.
Yeah, the Syrian rue.
Several plants contain 5-MeO, often accompanying beta-carbolines, MAOI inhibitors. Wow.
Did you find it? What is that? Dude.
Where is this plant found?
Danny, you got to start remembering. These are important things. You got to remember the name. Now.
He never told me the name. I don't think
he
he
didn't.
knew. I think he just heard this from somebody.
New Caledonia.
Looks like a plant.
Shrub or slender tree from the family Rucatae
Incredible.
and endemic to eastern Australia. It has trifoliate leaves and white flowers borne in panicles and leave axil. Why is everything so hard to pronounce? Axils. Huh? Was that it? That contained everything?
That was one of like several. So here's another one.
God.
Copy.
So you have to do no work just to trip fucking balls.
Yeah.
Just eat it, and that's all you need.
Yeah, but there might be side effects.
Oh,
you know,
of
like
course.
There's gonna be other things.
No, thank you.
No doubt.
Well, tell them leave the side effects out.
I'll pass. Yeah. Good God.
No, that's cool. No, I don't know about this, but there's all kind of drugs coming up all the time that I've never heard of, and I'm like, wow.
Mm-hmm. But this isn't even a drug. This is just found in fucking nature. This is just a plant, yeah. like a native plant to somewhere.
Yeah, I think it's this first one, dude. Because
which one?
I think it's this first one. This thing, because one of the other ways they say you could do is ayahuasca and changa. But this one is like
okay. So this contains 5-MeO-DMT and the MAOI sources.
And what is it? Like a shrub or something?
Whoa! Copy and paste that word, the Iodia.
It's a species of shrub or
small tree in the
where is New
Rucatae citrus family, found in Melanesia and New Caledonia.
Where the hell is that?
Go up. It is often associated with New Caledonian flora, known synonymously with Iodiaceae. Wow. Bonkers.
Australia.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. Have you been to Australia?
Never.
Never, me neither.
No.
But I'm imagining they have lots of psychedelic drugs there.
Yeah.
230 woody plants. Wow.
That is bonkers, bro.
Yeah, man. I remember an article that came out a few years ago. It said the psychedelic drugs of the future are drugs you haven't even heard of yet. So can you imagine what's coming? I mean, I think imagining what's coming is like trying to imagine the world that Hillman conjures of the ancient world. I think it's so profoundly exotic.
He just texted me.
Yeah.
He just texted me 10 minutes ago.
What did he say?
He said, "What is a Christ?" I love his texts, bro.
Oh man, he's a true gem.
He is one of a kind.
He's hilarious, yeah.
What did you make of the debate with him and the guy Luke?
That was incredible. I learned a lot.
Yeah.
I learned a lot. That guy is sharp.
Luke?
I mean, yeah, the linguistic stuff was, I don't know. That was really cool how he knew a lot about the words form. Like he's breaking down your name and all this other shit. It was like, okay, that was cool. So yeah. I thought it was wonderful. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
I liked it. I wasn't familiar with him. Of course, I know Fritz Graf. I'm familiar with Fritz Graf and Sarah Lies Johnson and the whole OSU crowd, Hugh Urban. OSU is a powerhouse. So, I thought it was a really, really interesting debate. And, I'm into this stuff. So.
I learned a lot, too. It was fascinating. And one of the biggest things I took away from it was his description of how the Hebrew, they use that word Mashiach for rubbing oil on the forehead.
Yeah.
And that was like their religious tradition of anointing a king or a religious leader or something like that. Yeah. And then like Greek was the metropolitan language that already existed all over the place. So for them to fit into society, they had to translate everything they had into Greek. Yeah. And the most obvious word they had in Greek to use for that Mashiach anointing word was Kreo. Yeah. Which is Christing, which was also a word that was used to apply shit to anything, like poisons to arrows or like shit to the bottom of ships to make them more buoyant or to put on roofs. Yeah. And that context was really interesting.
What about right afterwards? I sent you the obituary. What a coincidence that a couple of days after you aired the debate, the guy who discovered the silver scrolls of Proto-Hebrew.
That was crazy.
Died. Yeah, that was interesting.
The guy fucking died. He probably saw the podcast and it probably gave him a fucking heart attack.
I think it did.
The guy who found the silver Proto-Hebrew scrolls. Mm-hmm. Canaanite, right? Was that what it was?
I don't know.
What was the language?
Proto-Hebrew.
No, there was a different word. I think it was Canaanite.
Oh, really?
It was one of the two.
It was one of the two, yeah.
But the thing was, those scrolls, they didn't look like anything. They just looked like a bunch of lines carved in it. It didn't look like the Hebrew they put next to it.
Oh. The stuff I saw in the New York Times, I thought it did. I mean, they were little shards that looked like pieces of
scrolls.
Pull up those scrolls. Yeah, pull it up. What was that guy's name?
Hunnam scroll. What were the names of those scrolls again? Something Hunnam scrolls. Silver scrolls with Proto-Hebrew.
Silver. How? And in the obituary was talking about how difficult it was for them to unroll it without breaking it and destroying it.
Yeah. Yeah. sketchy stuff. What are these things called? What
So-
are these scrolls called, Steve? Ketif Hinnim scrolls. Punch it on that bad boy.
Yeah, it looks like chicken scratch.
It looks like chicken scratch, bro. And I don't know how you. I mean, that's a kind of a bad squished image. You can't really see the Hebrew that well.
I mean, think about the variety of.
Yeah. How are you getting that Hebrew from that chicken scratch?
Well, Danny, think about if right now we got 3 pieces of paper and me, you, and Steve all wrote. We picked a paragraph, commonly known paragraph, and we all wrote it down. I mean, do you have good, nice handwriting?
No.
You don't?
No.
Is it just pure garbage?
It's pure garbage.
Okay. No. So, and you're judging their handwriting. No, I'm joking. But
if I'm writing it on silver, my handwriting will improve drastically.
All of us will be weird. I'm left-handed, so I have weird handwriting where the same thing. So I think, I don't know. That's just my assumption on this, probably. If it doesn't, I mean, I don't know. I mean, how. Not everybody writes beautifully. I mean, I know some people that write beautifully, and I know I have friends who I cannot even read their writing.
Right.
It's just like, what the hell is that?
The crazy thing about the ancient world is all this stuff is passed down through like copies of copies of copies of copies of oral, of thousands of years of oral fucking traditions. Mm-hmm. So like, dude, one of the psychologists said to me the other day, which is probably something that's very common that most people know, but it was the first time it really like landed with me. She was talking about Adam and Eve in the garden or whatever, and how like she ate the apple, right? They ate the forbidden fruit of knowledge.
Which was a mushroom, says Watson.
No, so she was making the case that she equated that to like the written word. Like knowledge, the apple to her resembles like learned knowledge. Right. Like reading a book and memorizing knowledge versus true knowing something.
Yeah, like gnosis.
Right.
Right.
And she's like that, like the written word and language and this type of thing is the one way to the best way to deceive and lie.
I just think there's something to that.
Because there's no way through this history of written tradition that's been copied and copied over millennia to know what the truth was back then. Especially
but I mean, how much reality is missing? I mean, say this book is about Vietnam. I have a book now. This is about the Vietnam War.
Right.
People I know everything about Vietnam because I read this. But how much is missing? Almost everything.
The guy who wrote that book based that book on other history books he read from people who weren't even fucking there.
Where's the smell? Where's the sight? There's what we call human experience. It's missing almost everything, right? So it's extremely limited what you can learn from that. And a good historian will acknowledge those limits and say, look, this is just as much as we can know, which, as you're pointing out, is just
knowledge is satanic.
Yeah, and right, you could argue that, and that it's as deceiving as it is as anything else. It's one kind of knowing, which I think what you're pointing out is it's incredibly impoverished.
Yeah.
How much can you know? And is it more deceiving than anything else? Yeah, I think there's probably a pretty good argument for that.
I think there's a very good argument.
I think that's a really radical idea.
Really?
I think so. I mean, because you're essentially arguing that we can't really know anything. A lot of people have wanted this, right?
We can know stuff, but we got to put down the books and we got to go to the fucking rainforest.
Right.
And there's people that talk about there's folks that talk about going to the rainforest for the first time with no technology, no phones, no nothing, and just like the sounds of the insects and the fucking ruffling of the leaves and just being out there away from society and high technology just sort of like awakens something in you, people describe that when they go down there.
Well, we're animals. Yeah. And we've now encased ourselves in a completely artificial reality, which doesn't seem to be very good for our health.
Right. We're like fucking we're like the killer whales in SeaWorld in the tank.
Exactly.
We're outside of nature.
That's a great analogy. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. I think it's fascinating that the great whites are one that you can't keep contained. And why? Why is that? I really think
is that the only shark that we don't contain
that I know of? I think the most what's the longest they've ever kept a great white
in captivity?
In captivity, I think it's a year, maybe.
That's a good question.
But find
that out.
What I think that you've come to a really good point. And why is that? This really challenges our system. This is kind of the overarching thing of everything we're talking about. Why? There's something more. There's something that transcends all of it. Well, if you keep him at 76 degrees and he likes to eat 7 fish a day, there's something that transcends all of our statistics. We've become a people of statistics.
Yes.
Statistics used to be extremely hard to come by.
Yeah.
But now our entire world is made of it.
Yeah. And this is the case Jason Giorgiani makes, which is the buildup of the hyper-analytical mind directly correlates with the degradation of the psychic mind.
I think there's something to that.
What is this? Jaws lied. The real reason great whites can't be displayed in captivity.
Well, then what is it?
What is the real reason? Let's tell us. Quick take. The longest captivity of a great white lasted 198 days at the Monterey Bay Aquarium. Great whites must maintain continuous swimming and high oxygen intake, making captivity inherently incompatible. Right. Public fascination with Jaws fueled endless capture attempts.
Oh, they're saying that need to maintain high speeds to live.
They need a long runway.
There's no way to prove that they need high speeds to
They're
live.
big ass sharks.
And they can't suck water and pass. Okay, maybe that's good. Nah, okay, maybe that's right.
Yeah.
I don't know though. I don't know. I'm skeptical of that. I mean, it is just a suggestion. I mean, I don't know. I was maybe I'm not right, but I just had this sense that there's something that dies if there's not some kind of hunt going on, or just can't survive and without
totally
a wildness. Because there is something to that for the modern.
Well, look at the fucking whale, bro. The killer whale. I mean, it killed a bunch of trainers. Got killed. Their dorsal fins flop over.
Yeah,
they're definitely like suffering from mental illness.
Exactly. And hey, have you seen all that? You know how shark attacks are on the increase. Did you see this recent one?
I see this every summer.
I am loving this. I am absolutely loving this. This woman, this is horrible. I shouldn't even tell this story.
Just tell it, bro.
Okay.
We're already 2.5 hours in. You can tell it.
This woman, she led a class. This is up in New York or Maine or something. But she leads this class. It was all over the news. To where she has the little ducklings who follow her and they're child swimmers. Well, this guy was over in the spot. It's a mile from shore, and the great white shark snatches his leg off. Well, they're like, we're still going to swim there. So she goes off with the little ducklings. The little ducklings are behind her. There's like 20 of them. She's swimming. She's the swim teacher. They all have these bracelets that you put around your ankle.
Yeah.
That supposedly submit some sort of electromagnetic frequency that keep the sharks away.
Yeah.
Well, we now have very good proof they don't work, because she disappeared. Everybody looked around. The shark pops back up. She's completely in its mouth, and then it goes back down.
Where is this?
Oh, look! It's one of the latest shark attacks. I can't remember. Maybe it was in California. I don't remember. But
are you sure this wasn't the one in Egypt?
No, it wasn't.
Did you see the one in Egypt?
No, it was a white lady. Oh, like a new one?
This one was a couple years ago in Egypt.
I love this
kid, this Russian kid, was kayaking around right off the beach in Egypt, and there's full video of this tiger shark just devouring this kid while he's screaming for his dad, and his dad's filming the whole thing.
Absolutely horrific.
You can see same thing. You see the shark come up, like you see him get pulled down. He comes back up. Shark comes down. The kid spins around. The water's red, and then you see the final thing where the shark comes up, bites down on his shoulder, and the kid just is gone.
Well, they're questioning this. When Jaws came out, they were saying, "Oh, stop putting out this false idea."
Whoa, this was December 29th.
This is it.
Erica Fox's husband said she was still in her wetsuit and wearing a shark band designed to deter attacks when her body was recovered from the ocean 6 days after she went missing.
Yeah. Go down. Oh. I'm telling you, this was this is it. She didn't want to live in fear. Wearing a Garmin watch.
Wow, that's one way to go, bro.
Hey, I'm telling you. I mean, I do think that's pretty amazing. But the picture to me of someone who saw Jaws whenever I was young, and I still think it's one of maybe the greatest film ever
of him coming up,
of it coming up with her in his mouth. I was like, this to me personally is the most a bear. Okay, fine. Mountain lion. Okay.
That's how people say that.
Serial killer. Okay, but the shark. Serial killer? Hell no.
And people try to paint it as like, oh, it's not fair to sharks. They're not out to kill humans. No,
they are. Though.
That is how you should think about sharks.
They're out to kill it.
They are 100% out to fucking kill you.
Exactly.
If you're in the water, you have to like those things are fucking killers, bro.
They are.
And the people that try to paint them on their social media, there's people that like live in Hawaii that swim at them. Oh, look at this.
You were a seal.
This beautiful 2,000-pound tiger shark. She's so gorgeous. She's just misunderstood.
Yeah.
Well, no, what you don't understand is that tiger shark is very well fed and used to divers being around it and feeding it all the time.
Yeah.
So they're not gonna like attack and kill that woman. She's painting it as to be this like gentle creature when in reality thing's a killing machine.
Yeah, you go out there and if it's harmless, you go out there and feed it. That's what I want to say.
Dude, one of the craziest things, I was on the North Shore of Hawaii watching these people. There's people that live on the North Shore of Hawaii that every single night at sunset, they'd go like a quarter mile offshore by themselves and they swim miles down the beach on the North Shore of fucking Hawaii, which is fucking known for lots of tiger sharks killing people. Like, fuck that.
Terrifying, man. Oh, but you know what the guy says of this story? He tells the woman who got eaten, her husband saw it. He was watching from the shore. And the guy who got bit right before her, this was a couple of months before her, he said, look, I just want to tell you she wasn't in any pain because when it took one of his limbs off, he said, I felt absolutely nothing.
Because you were shock.
Shark attack. And I thought, is that because of shock? But that to me was like the most terrifying ending. I was like, that's even scarier.
Yeah, it's something that happens in the human brain that like it happens when you're being eaten alive by a wild animal. You go into this shock state where you don't feel the pain.
That's incredible.
It's been described by a lot of people that have been bitten by sharks.
That's incredible.
Yeah, they feel it just like as a tugging feeling.
Yeah,
like I felt something tug me, and it was like a dull tugging pain. I looked down and my fucking half my leg's gone.
My leg's gone, dude. To me, that's ultimate horror.
It is.
It's amazing. What sharks?
But surfing, I mean, like
you don't know. You're from the beach. You don't know anybody that's going to eat by a shark.
No, I don't know anybody who's been eaten. I know a lot of people who've been bitten.
Oh, really?
The shark attack capital of the world is right a couple hours away from here, New Smyrna Beach, Florida.
Oh, that's where my dad lives.
They're smaller beach. They're smaller sharks. They're like little black tips and spinner sharks.
So they won't kill you?
No, they won't kill you. You'll get a couple stitches or whatever. And there's almost a report every day during the summer. It's crazy.
So they just nip at you.
I mean, I've been surfing over there in like Ponce Inlet, New Smyrna Beach area before, like growing up, where like I'm paddling out into the waves and there's sharks hydroplaning all around me, eating bait fish.
Cool.
And you're just swimming right through them because like the waves are so goddamn good and you're gonna catch so many fun waves. It's almost worth the stitches. If there's such a low probability, you know, there's hundreds of people out there all day long and maybe a couple people will get bit a week. So the probability is low and they're not like great whites or like tiger sharks or anything like that.
But if like 50 of them got you at the same time, they might like tear you to
pieces. Yeah, that would happen too. Yeah, if that happened, that would be terrible. Yeah, and I've been in situations like that too. One time I was in the Bahamas. We were filming this show where we went out and there's these shark dives you can do in the Bahamas where they chum up the water and they get all the reef sharks to circle around, and then people go in and they dive in with the reef sharks and they're getting fed, and you're basically in a tornado of sharks.
And you did it?
I did it. I jumped out of a helicopter into the tornado of sharks.
Like bullshit.
I swear to God.
You jumped out of a helicopter in the middle of the sharks.
I jumped out of a helicopter in the middle of a tornado of sharks in the Bahamas. Reef sharks. They weren't like but if one of them, the problem is if one of those sharks accidentally bit me and there was some blood, all 200 of them would have devoured me.
Cool.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking
That's
gnarly.
amazing. What inspired you to do that? Jim Beam whiskey?
No, just fucking being young and retarded. I was probably like 21 years old.
Wow. I love that that's an experience they offer. Hey, jump out of this helicopter in the middle of a bunch of bloodthirsty sharks.
The problem, most people that get killed by sharks are like in the, at least around here or in the Bahamas where there's like big tiger sharks.
Yeah.
And like they're spearfishing, shooting fish. And the tiger sharks have become accustomed to hearing the pops of the spear guns, the bands popping. Yeah. And now they've become so accustomed to it, they start to show up when they hear bands from spear guns popping and try to eat your fish. Bull sharks and tiger sharks mostly.
That's amazing. You know the psychedelic researcher John C. Lilly. I know you know him.
Oh, fuck yeah, I know him. I had Rick O'Barry in here.
Who's that?
He's the guy who made the Cove documentary.
Oh yeah, that was killer.
He was also worked on Flipper. He trained Flipper, the dolphin.
That's right, and Lilly
knew Lilly. He was boys with Lilly.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And Lilly was right there, funded by NASA.
Yeah,
doing all that shit, like taking off the top of the heads of the dolphins, putting probes in there and stuff.
That's right. Hey, get this. This ties everything we're talking about together. That movie, Day of the Dolphins, with George C. Scott, that was, Polanski was directing Rosemary's Baby when Sharon Tate got killed. The next movie he was supposed to do was Day of the Dolphins. Day of the Dolphins, is the John C. Lilly. It's not the complete John C. Lilly story, but it's partly. If you look it up, you'll see they weaponized the dolphins. They put lasers and whatever on them and bombs on them and all this. And Polanski was supposed to direct it, but because Sharon Tate got killed, he dropped out of it.
Whoa.
And this is a movie based on the work of John C. Lilly. Of course, there's that. There's Day of the Dolphins. There's Altered States. And then, of course, there's the game Echo the Dolphin.
Right. I played that.
But you got the Manson. Yeah, that's a killer game. When I was a kid.
I played Echo.
Dude, I'm talking about I've had to have burned 1,000 out. Me and my brother playing Echo the Dolphin. That game is off the hook.
Yeah, it was.
They're bringing it back.
Really?
Yes, they're bringing it back. There's even a website for it where there's a countdown on it. I'm like, dude, I don't even play video games.
Didn't John Lilly invent the
flotation tank?
The sensory deprivation tank? That's what it was,
he invented it in Bethesda, Maryland, at the National Institutes of Mental Health. And it was during the Korean War, and it was going to be a torture device. And he says in Center of the Cyclone is what Paddy Chayefsky.
The Korean Wars when we came up with MKUltra, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And he was part of that shit. He was part of that stuff. Lilly. He created it in this janky room at the National Institute of Mental Health in Bethesda, Maryland, and it was supposed to be a torture device. And he said, in Center of the Cyclone, which is a killer book, he says, when going in the tank, rather than going crazy, I found that my mind escaped my body and that it was a freeing experience. So, yes, he did create the sensory deprivation tank. I wrote a really long story about John Lilly, the first long profile of him that was on the internet for a long time, and it may still be. It's called Escape. I wrote it for the Baltimore Sun. It's called Escape from Planet Earth. Psychedelics, Religion, and the Outlaw Scientist John C. Lilly or something like that. And so I read every book about Lilly. I read all the books that Lilly wrote, and then I also, the Stanford owns the archive of his stuff, and I collected all of everything I could get from the archive that I thought related to the work. And we should bring up, someone beat me to the punch, and they have made a new film about Lilly, and you should look up the trailer because it looks amazing. They showed it for the first time at the MAPS conference in Denver, and it just got picked up by, I think, Oscilloscope, and it's coming into theaters.
Really?
Yes, look up the trailer. It's fucking amazing.
Is it going to compete with the Melania movie?
It's way better than the Melania movie. Nothing. Well, hold on. Nothing can compete with the Melania movie.
Right.
First off, we just have to admit that.
So
it's called John C. Lilly and the Solid State Conspiracy.
Why did NASA fund him?
Because they funded him. He was in the U. Basically, what happened was he ended up in the U.S. Virgin Islands.
Yeah.
And he was studying interspecies communication. And he also was involved with, who's the guy that made Cosmos into space? You know, he's a science popularizer.
Bill Nye?
No, the other guy before him. Carl Sagan.
Oh, okay.
That place in West Virginia. And they were basically they thought they might be able to apply interspecies communication between humans and dolphins, humans and whales to communication with what might be in outer space. So he was also involved in that, and it was called the Order of the Dolphin. And it was Carl Sagan, John C. Lilly, and a lot of other people. But the reason why they funded him is because John C. Lilly was from St. Paul, Minnesota. His father was a banker. He was from an extremely wealthy family.
Really?
Yes. He went to the University of Pennsylvania. His brother started Toro lawnmowers.
What?
Yes.
Are you serious?
Yes. But here's the book that people ought to read if they want to know about John Lilly. Nobody reads it. It's called John Lilly So Far. And it's one of the few, his biography is called The Scientist. Which is really cool, but it's wacky because by then he was already crazier than hell. I've talked to a lot of people that knew Lilly. Even Rick Strassman met Lilly when he was at Yes. Is
this the documentary?
Whoever made this.
How did you get that? It's unlisted. How did you find it?
Gosh, I found it through an article.
All right, play this shit. Dude. Hopefully we don't get a copyright.
I want to see this so bad. No, she's going to love it because we're promoting it.
All right, full screen it. Oh, this whiskey's really
I predicted that within a decade or two that the human species would establish communication with another species. Terrestrial, possibly extraterrestrial, but most probably marine. So we call it the physical isolation tank. Currently, there is somebody inside this tank so that you can see what it's like. I think he was in here.
He's dead.
Well, all I can say is I recommend that you get terror-stricken.
Oh my
Because
God.
it is the jet fuel which will carry you farther into the various states and farther out into the universes than anything else will.
Yeah.
Wow.
Narrated by Chloe Savigny from Kids.
What?
Yeah. That's what it said. That's amazing. Whoever made that, kudos.
Harmony
That's
Korine?
amazing. Harmony Korine. He's a Florida guy.
He is. What was his, this is great. Yeah. What was Harmony Korine's response when we asked him to come on the podcast?
He's absolutely disinterested. He doesn't care.
He couldn't be more disinterested.
Yes.
That's what he said.
His response. Which is like,
Yeah.
kudos.
Yeah.
To like the fucking honesty there.
You know, his father was a really interesting documentary filmmaker who was interested in hillbilly music, and he made a movie.
Korine's father?
Yes, his dad was a folklorist and filmmaker, and he made a movie about the 1920s, 1930s, probably one of the greatest country performers ever, Uncle Dave Macon. He made a movie about him that's unfucking believable, and it's on Folk Streams, which shows a bunch of like folk documentaries, and you can watch his movies. So yeah, his dad was a filmmaker. I think Korine's from Tennessee. I'm not positive about that, but yeah, I fuck with Harmony Korine big.
What was his dad's film? Was his dad's films like a big time? Did he make a lot of money?
No, they're folk movies. He's like Les Blanc. He would make. They were like no money for production.
Yeah.
They were just documenting folk cultures.
Harmony Korine's one of my favorite fucking movie makers of all time.
Did you see that new one he made with whatever? What is this video game bullshit? What is this?
Oh yeah.
What is it? Have you seen it?
I haven't seen it.
I want to see it.
What's the newest? What is that called?
What the hell is it called?
No, it's insane. It's like filmed in
looks like infrared or something.
Right? Yeah. It's like no, night vision maybe.
And he's creating these new mythological characters. I mean, the way he explained it, he's definitely the most interesting. American filmmaker.
He's pushing the boundaries more, innovating more than anyone.
He lives down here in Florida.
He's in Miami.
I guess he's taking Hebrew lessons from Jared Kushner.
What?
Yes.
Shut the fuck
Swear
up.
to God, look it up. I promise you.
Are you serious?
Yes, he's studying.
Where do you find this
He's
stuff?
studying the Torah with Jared Kushner.
Oh my God.
And doing fundraisers. You know, he does these paintings of like Florida landscapes and sells them for outrageous amounts of money. And I guess
Harmony?
Yes. And he raises money for the IDF, Israeli Defense
Shut the
Force. I'm not joking.
This is
I wish I was joking.
I'm a
man.
genetically engineered podcaster by
Look it up.
Jeffrey Epstein.
I promise you this is true. Everything I just told you is true.
This can't be real, bro.
Yeah, it is. Look it up. He wrote.
This is his movie, Baby Invasion.
Edgelord. No, it's not Baby Invasion, is it?
What is Baby Invasion?
That's his studio, the Edgelord, but I don't think this is the movie.
This is the most recent thing that popped
Play it.
up. 10 months old.
To play it.
Oh yeah, that movie was from like 2 years ago. The one we're talking about.
Is that Harmony's Rolls Royce?
Dude,
Wow.
This is amazing.
He's on another level.
We have to. You stole the words out of my mouth. We must admit, hate him or love him, that he's on another.
He
level.
is in another fucking universe. There's nobody like Harmony Korine.
What the hell was
But that's
that?
not the night vision movie I was thinking of.
No, that was from a couple years ago.
Type in Harmony Korine night vision movie.
Florida-based project, Baby Invasion. Danny, you got to get in this motherfucker. Come on now.
Oh my God. Korine.
You've seen Gummo?
Oh yeah, I've seen Gummo.
Yeah. You've seen what he's in Eastern Kentucky?
Hang on. Wait a second. What are you saying about him in the IDF?
He does fundraisers for the IDF. Yeah.
Search that.
Look it up.
Harmony Korine IDF. Just
promise you. He's studying Hebrew with Jared Kushner. Complicit in apartheid. Told you. Raised over 10 million. Javanka. In the recent oh, that's Jared and Ivanka, right?
Harmony and Rachel, that's his wife, were part of a November 2023 FIDF Friends of Israel Defense Forces fundraiser in Miami, Florida that raised $10 million to directly support the Zionist army committing genocide in Palestine.
What website is this? This is not a reporting website.
This doesn't seem like a legitimate website, does it?
Well, it is. I think it's
called
the information is correct, but they're adding a spin on it.
Yeah, they added the genocide in Gaza stuff, right?
Yeah, I told you he is. He really is. And he's friends with game publisher, a Zionist.
What?
Yeah. I mean, it shouldn't be surprising. I mean, think about it. This guy is a iconoclast. I mean, he is a weirdo if there ever was.
That's a curveball, bro. I was not expecting that.
Well, I think that we have this.
I burned out and started mowing lawns. A reality bending chat with Harmony Korine in 2024.
Yeah.
No mention of IDF though.
No.
Well, the first thing showed you that's real information. I mean,
click on that Israel company. Does Harmony Korine support Israel Palestine?
Just some form.
Harmony Korine is a filmmaker, artist, influencer, blah, 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 blah. With part of a 2023 FIDF Friends of Israel Defense Forces fundraiser. Okay.
What kind of, this is, no, hold on, just stop on this.
Israel.company.
Look at this red thing at the top, supports Israel. This is weird.
Well, so Israel.
We're going to get on an FBI watch.
I saw an interview with Tucker Carlson interviewing this guy who's supposed to be the new running for governor of Florida.
I saw that.
You saw that?
Yeah. I didn't like him. I didn't like him.
He was weird, very robotic.
He's now, I think, canceled.
I don't, is he really?
Yeah, he was trying to screw some 15-year-old.
Oh my God.
Allegedly.
Well, all the politicians are trying to do that.
Yeah.
But he was saying that DeSantis is giving like hundreds of millions of dollars of Florida taxpayer money to Israel.
Well, that may be true, but don't believe anything that guy says. He's a politician.
Right.
I worked on political campaigns in Baltimore. I went to school for public policy, and I thought, I'm going to get involved in politics, and I'm going to do so much good. And it was made me more profoundly disillusioned than anything I've ever done. I was like, oh, God.
Well,
this is horrible.
Our current governor, DeSantis, he passed some law in Florida, in Israel, about like, it was some sort of law.
Like you can't criticize them?
You can't criticize Zionism or Israelis.
Yeah, I'm completely against that. I don't like that at all.
Yeah. It's not a good look when you're a governor of fucking Florida.
You know what I mean?
Trump country.
Right.
You know, go in there wearing your yarmulke, kissing the wall, and passing laws about, you know, protecting speech against Jewish people.
Florida is, I mean, I think the Harmony Korine being here doing all this crazy shit. It's kind of
Did you see the video of the lady in Miami Beach?
No.
There was a lady in Miami Beach a couple weeks ago who posted something about, criticizing the mayor of Miami for his support for Israel. And cops showed up at her door.
Yeah.
Armed cops showed up at her door about the Facebook post that she made.
It doesn't surprise me.
And it blew up. It was all over the fucking news because of this. She filmed the whole interaction.
Well, the previous administration was doing this for people that posted stuff about support of Trump and different things like that. There have been things happening like this. And of course, the UK, this happens all the time. I mean, it's a crime in the UK if you...
Oh, yeah, of course.
You know what I mean?
It's insane what they're doing in the UK.
Yeah.
But this is like exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
Obviously, they didn't arrest her or anything like that. But the fact that the mayor of Miami... I read the article. The mayor of Miami called the sheriff about this Facebook post. And it wasn't even a post. She commented on a post. Yeah. Commenting about like the hypocrisy or something like this guy. It was something to do with like a movie or something.
Well, I mean, you've seen the
Wayne Jones. That's funny. My middle name is Wayne and my last name is Jones.
Your middle name is Wayne?
My middle name is Wayne.
Where does that come from?
I have no idea. My dad's middle name is Wayne.
My uncle's name is Wayne, but that's a country saying.
Yeah. Well, my dad's from up north somewhere.
Where? Oh, we mean somewhere. You got to.
I think Pennsylvania, somewhere in Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay, all right.
But yeah, so yeah, the mayor called Wayne Jones and sent him this Facebook post. And what was she saying? Oh, so okay.
Consistently calls for the death of all Palestinians.
So that's apparently she was saying that the mayor calls for the death of Palestinians, which is probably not true exactly, but the guy's a huge supporter of Israel. And just for that post, they showed up, armed police officers showed up at her house, or investigators.
We live in an idiotic society.
We do, bro.
It's pretty horrible. I mean, everything is boiled down. They said this, he said this. Who gives a shit?
It's fucking free speech.
And this is
cares?
and
show us on the doll where our words hurt you.
Florida of all fucking states. This is Florida.
Yeah. Hey, look, Steve, will you see who is the head of the police in Miami?
Dude, I'm kind of drunk right now.
Really?
Yeah, bro.
Well, that's just
lightweight.
one thing. Drink more.
Lightweight. I don't drink ever.
Well, that would be Manuel Morales.
Okay, I thought it was this. It was this guy, Hatfield.
Hatfield.
Put the word Hatfield in it. See what comes up. Rio Hatfield III is the chief of police for South Miami. Hey, I used to work for this guy. When I first got out of high school, I went to work for this guy, Rio Hatfield, who tried to be governor of Virginia. Mm-hmm. And I drove a forklift, like loading Kmart shit into trucks and shit. And this is his son. He ended up going to prison.
What?
But this is somebody told me his son was the chief of police in Miami, and I was like, "There's no way it's the same person," but it is.
Oh my!
But he's
God.
not. He's
Find a picture of this guy.
Chief of police for South Miami. That's him. Wow, he looks just like his dad. Oh, yeah, look. Man. Hey, the third picture down on the far left. Third picture.
White hair guy.
Yes, that's his dad.
Far left.
That's who I used to work for. Yeah, Waynesboro, Virginia.
This guy looks like he could go to jail for some shit.
He was my first real employer.
This guy's in a federal penitentiary.
Yeah, no, he got out. Now he's running this vineyard.
Squashing grapes and feuds. Rio Hatfield.
He tried to play up this Hatfield in McCoy.
Winery.
Yeah, he's working. He's the CEO of a winery now. Shout out Rio. Thanks for the job, Rio.
Yeah.
Sorry you had to go to
jail.
Bro,
I gotta fucking piss again.
Go ahead.
I'll be right back. Bro, pull up that the screenshots from that video about me and Jesse being genetically
engineered goy slop, Danny, I think is what they said.
Genetically engineered goy slop podcasters by Jeffrey Epstein.
We'll have you know, Museum of Taro, we are local organic farm to table goy slop. There's actually a huge difference. We actually came up with this shit on our own.
I actually like the story. I think I'm gonna roll with it.
I think you should.
I think it makes it more interesting.
Oh, they've deleted it.
Steve, you got to find the screenshots.
Jones already sent his lawyers after that motherfucker. He took that shit down, baby.
I'm gonna let that shit ride, son. There you go. Look at that. Was Epstein genetically engineering?
Danny, you were a very handsome child, and I wish you would have mentioned earlier that you knew Jeffrey.
It does look like me when I was a kid.
Does it really?
My hair was the same color.
I didn't know Jeffrey visited Clearwater.
No, I might have been down. I spent a lot of time in the Caribbean when I was young.
Who were those like impoverished third world looking children with you?
Well, that's Jesse Michaels.
Just childhood friends.
Jesse Michaels.
That's Jesse Michaels on the left.
Who's that? I don't know.
You know, he's a podcaster, or a podcaster, and he's a fantastic documentarian.
Really?
Yes.
What does he make?
He makes documentaries about like the history of UFOs and like UFO technology and like all the history of everything, like as far as like the U.S. military involvement in all this stuff and like buried secret physics programs and experiments. Like he is a mastermind of encyclopedic knowledge on the history of all this stuff.
And you guys work for Epstein, but it's indirect.
Well, you know what's funny enough? He used to work for Peter Thiel.
You're kidding?
No, this is real.
Oh, great.
He used to be he used to do like financial something to do with like he managed finance part of his portfolio for Peter Thiel, but like he doesn't.
Great. It is genetically engineered goy slop.
Well, that's an inconvenient connection. It has nothing to do with.
I'm writing a book called More Chaos.
Yeah, he has
the
nothing
saga
to do
of Danny Jones and genetically.
But he is just genuinely interested in like the history of like rocketry and UFOs and space programs and all that stuff. And he's a really smart, well-read
Is that picture
dude.
of you, that's a legitimate picture? Is that a mugshot? Did you get a DUI, Danny?
On the left?
Yeah.
That's my passport photo. I don't know how that got on.
How the hell did they get your passport?
I don't know. I don't know where they got that. Why didn't they just use a picture of me on the podcast?
What is Museum of Tarot?
So this is a guy who's been on my show before.
Oh, so it's a rival.
No.
And now you're
I
kicking his
invited him
ass
on
and
my
he's
show because I
pissed.
thought he was interesting. And we talked about
What is his expertise?
what is his expertise?
Sliming people?
He studies stuff on his own and he travels places and
He's
got a museum.
So he works for the CIA.
he's all into like the parapsychology, telepathy stuff, I think.
So he's a crank.
He seemed legitimate. That's why I asked him on. Like he seemed like he had like a nuanced perspective on things that's why I originally invited him on, because he knows a lot about the history of the UFO stuff. He had like a reasonable knowledge, a deep knowledge of this stuff. And I was like, oh, this got to be fun to talk to. So I invited him on. And then, then this comes out.
At some point, there was an unreturned email.
He's also has me blocked on all social media. I couldn't see this post at all.
He's got you blocked.
He's got me blocked on Instagram, on all my Instagram accounts.
So he's hoping that this feud produces some attention for his crappy show.
Maybe. I don't know. But he's huge on TikTok. I found him on TikTok.
He is.
You know what else he told me?
What does he do? Let's look at his stuff.
He told me on the show.
It's like a critical appraisal.
Have you ever heard of Stephen Greer?
Stephen Greer. Oh, that's the UFO guy you had on your show.
He told me Stephen Greer.
He was on right after me last time you had it. He got like millions of views.
Oh, yeah. He told me that.
That was genetically engineered.
He told me Stephen Greer could have been from, he could have been like a Mossad
I
plant.
saw this guy.
Yeah.
I saw this episode with this guy.
So this vindicates Stephen Greer.
I remember this. I remember this now. Yeah, that guy did seem to be pretty knowledgeable.
He seemed like totally sane.
But he was also had this kind of macho thing against Greer and yeah. Oh, this is this guy?
He brought in a newspaper clipping from Greer's wedding in Haifa.
Yeah, I saw that. And he accused him of being homosexual.
Yes, that too.
I saw this episode, I promise you.
Yes, that too.
This is this guy. Yeah, he's all he's trying to do is embroil you in a feud and hoping that it gives him some popularity.
I hope
he's
it
probably
gains traction.
sinking. Well, we're going to help it right now.
Yeah, let's help it. This is the guy.
This is him. This is
Look at this guy.
Influenced by voice-to-skull mind control technology.
Yeah.
We tried
to ask a very interesting question during my
remember
last
earlier
video
when you
where
said there were people
You don't
who
need to
got
play this.
Remember when there were people you said got lost in the sauce? Your word looking at one. I mean, actually, he's just a grifter. He's not even lost in the sauce. It's giving people too much credit to think they, that they got lost in the sauce because he's just flat out a grifter.
Yeah. I like the story though.
Yeah.
I had so many people hit me up about this. It was crazy.
Really? Today? Did this happen today?
No, it happened a couple days ago.
Oh, it did.
I had so many people messaging me about it. It's
And
fucking
saying
funny.
what? Are they
Just sending it to me and laughing.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say,
oh my
say,
God, this is fucking hilarious. Some people said, I knew it. I knew it.
I knew it.
It might be true. It might be true. I don't know. I guess we're going to have to find out.
I mean, we're a
Time will
mile
tell.
from Scientology HQ.
Time will tell.
That's hilarious. Who's in the middle? Who's in the green shirt? Is this the scientist?
That's Bob Lazar.
That is Bob.
Who is that? I don't know who that is.
You know who Bob Lazar is?
No.
He's the guy who came out, who claimed he worked at Area 51 and S4 and helped reverse engineer flying saucers in the 90s.
And you had him on?
No.
Oh.
I think the only podcast he's ever been on is Rogan.
Oh.
And he was like one of the biggest whistleblowers ever about this UFO stuff.
Did you think it's legit? Or?
Oh, I think he's legit for sure.
Really? And what, he wrote a popular book or something?
No, he just came out. There was a guy named George Knapp who was a UFO researcher and back in the 80s and 90s who heard Bob Lazar's story. And he was trying to get him to document it on camera or whatever. And Bob was like, no, I'm afraid to do that. I'm afraid for my life, my safety, all this stuff. And he basically like finally got Bob to do it on camera. And he had him tell his whole story about how he was recruited to work. He was working at Los Alamos. He got recruited to this top secret program working at S4. He got flown in on one of these Janet flights to Las Vegas. And they put him through this crazy security screening, and eventually they brought him in to this hangar where there was like 7 flying saucers that they explained to him were found in archaeological digs. And he explained going into the flying saucers, there was no seams, everything was seamless, the chairs were built in, it was made for like childlike sized people. And
this person's still alive?
that's Bob, yeah, he's still alive.
He's still alive.
Oh yeah.
I don't believe that.
And well, yeah, I mean, he doxed himself pretty well. Like he's been all over media saying this stuff. He's been on Joe Rogan's podcast saying this stuff, and you know, a lot of the stuff he says checks out. He met a lot of people from like the Manhattan Project at MIT. He allegedly went to MIT to research this stuff, and I mean, his story never changed over the years, and you know, whether it was like intentional disinformation that was fed to him or what, or whether he was a part of some mind control thing. Or
if he's an entrepreneurial type.
No, he's not. He's not trying to sell anything. That's the thing. And you know, he comes off as genuine. He comes off, you know, my sniff test is that he's telling the truth. He believes what he's saying. Yeah. Whether or not there's some sort of level of deception involved, intertwangled into it.
So what is I asked you earlier about the remote view. What is about the Epstein thing. Do you have any general take of what about the UFO thing? I mean, are you convinced? I guess here's my question. Are you completely convinced that an alien species, an extraterrestrial alien species has visited Earth and that do you think
No, I'm not convinced.
You're not convinced?
I'm not convinced it's extraterrestrial. I'm certainly convinced that there's some cases where there are beings that aren't human, that are humanoid, have been captured by the U.S. government and kept secret.
Do you think that's, without a doubt, that has happened?
I would bet that has happened. Okay. Yeah, from the people I've talked to. Yeah. And, you know, I believe most likely that it is a civilization that exists on Earth, on another plane, like in the water, maybe under the oceans or something like that. And like maybe we are on just some like lower plane of existence than they are. They have the ability to manipulate space-time, cloak themselves, remain invisible.
Reptilian shapeshifters.
Yes, reptilian shapeshifters, interdimensional jobbers. And
damn, that's a good impression. That's a good
He's
impression.
my uncle.
You got the vocal fry down and everything.
And I think you know, and you know, there's
Have you met Alex Jones?
Never.
No. You know,
I'm a fan though, for sure.
You're a fan, man. When I was, I graduated high school in 2001, and then eventually I moved to Virginia Beach because my brother was in the Navy, and there was a New Age bookstore there called Heritage Bookstore. And at that time, like 2003, 2004, you know, Alex Jones was like a left figure. He had a book. He had all of his shit that they had at the bookstore, and he had DVDs. They were all about Bush, like Bush Unmasked, and he was in the Richard Linklater movie, the Philip K. Dick adaptation, Through a Glass Darkly. It had Keanu Reeves in it, and he's in the movie. Scanner Darkly. And, you know, he was like a far left figure at that time.
Yeah, he was trying to expose Bohemian Grove.
Yeah. Did you play, I think you played the Nixon clips. I think I saw that on your show where you played Nixon talking about Bohemian Grove.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. San Francisco crowd.
Yeah, Alex has been on to shit for a long time. Yeah. He's got predicted a lot of shit too. But he also, which people don't realize, is like people are bad at predicting, at measuring probabilities. He throws a lot of shit at the wall.
He does a ton of shit at the wall.
He makes a lot of predictions.
His psychedelic thing, like he was on Tucker Carlson and he was like, it opens up and hangs to the fifth dimension and blah, 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 blah. Like
well, he predicted 9/11.
I saw that. That is fucking creepy. I saw the documentary about him, which was supposed to be like a hit piece, but I thought it was kind of fair about him. I thought it came off as very fair.
What documentary?
It was a few years ago. It was a very probably the biggest documentary that's ever been made about him, and a very mainstream.
Jones?
Yes.
Huh. What's it called?
It came out around the time of when he was being sued and losing a lot of money over the Sandy Hook thing. I don't remember. You could look it up.
Yeah, look, he gets a lot of shit wrong, and he probably gets more shit wrong.
But the 9/11 thing was prophetic.
He throws so much shit at the wall. People forget about the stuff that he gets wrong. It kind of gets overlooked. People only focus on the things that he gets right. Those are the things that are become meaningful. Yeah. It's like, you know, I was talking to this psychiatrist from Harvard the other day, and she was talking about like, oh, you know, there's this phenomenon that happens when you think about somebody you haven't thought about in 10 years and then they call you. It's happened to everybody,
it does happen.
It's psychic, right? Yeah. But how many times have you thought about a person you never thought about before and they don't call you? Yeah. You don't fucking categorize that thing. You don't think about that.
Yeah. Coincidence. Coincidence.
Yeah. So that's like with Alex Jones. It's called The Truth versus Alex Jones.
There were quite a few.
Maybe. No, that's not it. Maybe Alex's War, New World Order. I think it's maybe Alex's War. It's not for the Frontline one. Frontline has become garbage.
Huh.
Moyer, film a study character. I think it's the Moyer one. I think it's Alex's War. Yeah, it's Alex's War. That's it. Yeah, I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah, bro. I think there's definitely. Have you ever heard of the Varginha, Brazil abduction, or not the abduction, the Varginha, Brazil crash?
No.
There's this documentarian, James Fox, who did this documentary. He did 2 documentaries on there's a alleged UFO crash in Varginha, Brazil in the 90s. And there was like a dozen witnesses to it, where there was a dozen witnesses to a being, where these schoolgirls were walking through a field and they saw this being, this brown being with like red eyes. Yeah. And they looked at it and they had this feeling of it communicating telepathically. Wow. And also there was these 2 police officers who captured the thing. And one of the guys, Marco Chirizi, went and grabbed this like 20-year-old cop from Brazil, grabbed this being who like was weak and trying to escape, grabbed him, put him in the back of the cop cruiser, and brought him to a hospital. This guy later died of like a fucking crazy virus and viral infection or something from the being, from a scratch that he got. And there's also X-ray technicians and a neurosurgeon and multiple doctors who he interviewed that worked at this hospital who came out and said, yeah, this is fucking real. This thing was in here. The whole hospital smelled like sulfur and ammonia for like a week afterwards. And like this thing had cloven feet. It was a child, the size of like a toddler.
Like Rosemary's Baby.
Bro, it sounded like the biblical explanation of a demon.
Yeah.
Smelling like sulfur with cloven feet.
You remember when before Maduro, you had Hugo Chavez?
Yeah.
He spoke with Bush at the UN and they said, you know, what had happened? And he said, well, it smelled like sulfur.
Yeah. Alex Jones says Hillary Clinton smells like sulfur.
Yeah, interesting guy, Texas guy.
Yeah, there's too many. I mean, I don't know. And then there's also the Zimbabwe encounter in the 90s, where those kids at that school in Rua, Zimbabwe, all explained this thing landing and like all these little beings coming out and telepathically communicating with him. And the Harvard psychologist John Mack went out there and interviewed them all, and they all drew pictures of what they saw. These are kids like between the ages of like 6 and 12.
Yeah,
explaining what they saw. Like they didn't have time to like plan out this deceptive campaign they were going to run against everyone. Like they all individually in these interviews drew experience, like talked about what they saw, what their feelings were, what the telepathic communication was, which was like technology is going to be very bad for you if you let it get out of hand. And they drew pictures of it, and it was like so similar to this stuff. So like there's so much lore and like eyewitness accounts. Like maybe it's some sort of fucking weird mind control or I mean,
what do you think? I mean, as far as in outer space, I mean, is it possible at all that somebody could travel a far enough distance? I mean, I think it's just this profound mystery that we are on this planet and that we don't know if there's anything else in the universe. I mean, it is, the older I get, the trippier it is. I'm like, what the fuck? I mean, when I was young, I just didn't care about this.
There has to be life out there.
You would think so, because we don't know the exact. Well, there's no, as far as we know, there's no parameters, right?
There's no, right. Yeah. It's like, it's so vast and infinite. The probability is there has to be some sort of life out there. But the thing is, here's the thing with the popular lore about aliens and UFOs and all this stuff, and you know, every account of them, at least the vast majority of them, are like they're bipedal hominid looking things.
What about if this is just the evolution of the elf? You see what I'm saying? Or the gnome? What about if this is just the same shit, like Carl Jung said? What about if this is just, we constantly imagine, okay, there's little people, there's this, there's that. Our myths evolve, like the Jung book about UFO. Pasolka talks about this.
Right,
evolution of a myth, right? What about if aliens are just the new thing instead of gods and
they've been seeing this stuff for forever. They just describe it as
interpret it differently.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Totally. But here's the case that this anthropologist made to me on the show was he was explaining to me like the reason he became an anthropologist because he was so fascinated by these stories. And he's like, out of all the species that are cataloged on Earth, 20 of the like 2 million cataloged species are hominids. Out of the 20 hominids, one of them has developed technology to get off the Earth. That's us. And we are 0.0001% of all species on Earth. So on Earth alone, we are super fucking rare as upright walking bipedal hominids who can manipulate our own environments. Now he's like, you extrapolate that out to all the other worlds out there that we know are in Goldilocks zones that can have life. even those planets have vastly different pressures, atmospheres. A lot of them are water worlds. The chances of bipedal hominid upright walking with brains that sit directly on top of their eyes like us evolving is like almost fucking zero.
Yeah.
So he's like, if all these cases of these weird childlike things with big eyes or whatever, he's like, most likely it's from here.
Yeah.
So it's like either they're another version of us that maybe came from the future, maybe they're time travelers, who knows what they are, or they live underground. I don't know. He says it's most likely that they're from here.
Now, are you totally down on the? I will say this: that Roland Griffiths recommended to me before he died. He was very interested. He sent me this debate. I think I sent it to you, to where it was this guy Stephen Meyer, who's probably the most prestigious guy that the intelligent design people have. And they're pushing him forward. What do you think about that? Is this a horrible idea?
What is it again?
Well, just intelligent design. What about if there's a creator? The religious idea that evolution is bullshit and that really there's a creator behind, the religious idea. You think no way?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I have no idea.
Yeah. Well, this guy, Stephen Meyer, what's his book? Steve, could you look it up? His name's Stephen Meyer, Intelligent Design, but he's the most intelligent guy they've got putting forward. And I was surprised in talking to Roland Griffiths that he was saying he seemed like he was leaning
These are like anti-evolution?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, he seemed like he was leaning towards, but because, it is very much hard to comprehend. Now, if you're an idiot, you don't think about that. You're just like, okay, whatever, I go to work, then I come home. But when you look at a fucking acorn and a squirrel and a shark and all of us and the advanced conversations and everything you're talking about, you go, how in the fuck could this have happened randomly?
Right.
It seems, that's him. What's his book called? The God Hypothesis? No. He's got a new book. Roland suggested I read this, and I'm not saying he was
intelligent design,
it.
A pseudoscientific what?
Oh, but Wikipedia.
A pseudoscientific creationist argument for the existence of God. Why is
I forgot you don't like religion, right? You're anti.
I don't have anything against religion. I'm not anti-religion at all.
You're working for Scientology. No, I'm fucking.
Yeah, I'm more Scientologist, bro.
No, look up signature in the cell. See it right above there. Yeah, click that. This might be his new book. Anyway.
His new book might be Darwin's Doubt.
I know a lot of very nice Christian people. I have nothing against Christianity.
I don't mean to Christian people. What I mean is this guy is putting forward, there it is, Return of the God Hypothesis. This is the one that Roland told me to read. And he sent me a debate between Douglas Murray, Tom Holland, and this guy, Stephen Meyer. Now, I've never read the book, so I'm not telling you should read this and it's serious. Right. All I'm saying is, when you are scientifically thinking and you say, there's really no, Roland told me before he died, he goes, on a fundamental level, Travis, I don't know what to think. This is a very, very serious scientist at Johns Hopkins, not the country's, the world's premier medical institution, that is telling you, I actually don't know what to think. He goes, on a profound level, I don't know what's going on.
He's honest.
He's being totally honest. And he says, we have to, this is the William James thing, to automatically dismiss outright anybody suggesting this, we're not going to consider them. That is the most anti-scientific view ever. No, you have to be willing to entertain that they might be right. And I listened to the debate with these guys and I thought, he sounds intelligent. I don't know.
What is your take on it?
Well, what about if, I think that, what about if, there was some creator that set things into motion? I don't fucking know. I have no idea. There's nobody, I don't take anybody serious who would dismiss it outright because it's just, it is a profound, profound mystery. Mm-hmm. And you walk through the woods. You were talking about earlier, this difference between the world of language. Mm-hmm. McKenna was real hung up on this. The world of language. I know everything about Vietnam. I know the history of the Amazon forest. And then you walk into it and you go, oh shit, I don't know anything. This is terrifying. This is crazy. How did this all come about? How did it all come about? I don't know. And as much as I think what I'm arguing for is what you said earlier, which is the more I read, the less I know. Yeah. I'm just like, I have no fucking idea. And that's what Roland told me. This is somebody facing terminal colon cancer diagnosis. And I said, Roland, I'm 42. I'm really thinking like, what the fuck is really going on? And we had disagreements about psychedelics, and he's like, I've been a scientist my whole life. I don't know what the fuck's going on. And I'm like, damn, all right, fucking,
All I know is I think the more fucked up we get, the closer we get to the truth.
Right. I think you're right. I think I
need more whiskey.
Yeah, give me some too. Hey, I think you're right. Well, and this whole psychedelic
I mean, how do you explain all the psychedelic shit? Like, how do you, no one can explain what's happening.
No.
When you take DMT, like how are you experiencing that?
And
or
you know
mushrooms?
what? I don't think they're ever going to be able to explain it.
And that shit, I mean, it feels like when you experience that, it feels like divine. It feels like God.
It does. And so, man, it's a real tough thing. I mean, it's a very tough thing because you go, is your, we're taught in our society that how you feel should not factor into things, right? Unless you can prove it through experiment. Experimental science has taken over everything, unless you can repeat it.
Right.
But that's, this is William James' whole thing. William James
and Epstein's whole thing.
Oh, damn! He done conflated William James. Well, hey, let me say this. Here's maybe a better point. There's something that we can grasp. I think we should consider the possibility that we have conflated and confused the theory of evolution with technological innovation. What I'm saying is that what about if we're looking at, oh, look, there's a new iPhone version 8.0 and there's a new car. What about if this isn't a sign of progress?
Right.
What about if this isn't? What about if we're heading backwards in time? Because there's nobody really asking the question. We've just come to accept that as long as there are new gadgets being created, what about if what I'm saying is, what about if evolution? What about if Tom Wolfe is right? What about if we're not evolving? What about if it's not inevitable that we're heading, which is really a Christian idea, right? Because the older idea would be that time is cyclical. That's the Eliot argument.
Okay.
The Eliot argument, the Jung argument is that time is cyclical, and that we go through that. Right now there's a time of chaos, then we'll go through peace, and the fourth turning thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that it'll just repeat itself over and over again. The thinking now is that this is what's happening. Look, there's a new iPhone, there's a new car, we're going to go to the moon, we're going to go to Mars, and then but what comes at the end? What comes at the end? What is going to happen? In Christianity, Jesus comes back to earth. In the secular viewpoint of Epstein, what is going to happen? What's going to happen? If Jesus isn't going to come back to earth, then what is all of this building up to?
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think Zeus is going to flood the earth, bro. There's going to be another goddamn flood.
Right.
Yeah. We can't even fit the fucking pyramids into a scientific box.
Exactly. What about, this is where I have sympathy for the Graham Hancocks and the perennialism and all of these people.
Oh, yeah, I forgot you were a Graham Hancock hater.
I'm not a Graham Hancock hater. Look, I'm not a polished person or a politician who's going to come in here. I'm moody like everyone else, and maybe my mood at the time is, fuck that bullshit. But no, I like Graham Hancock, actually. And Rick Strassman, who I trust, told me he's a wonderful person.
Yeah.
So I know
he seems like a nice guy.
Well, you met him, didn't you?
I never met Graham Hancock.
I thought you interviewed him.
No, never.
You've never interviewed Graham Hancock?
Never interviewed Graham Hancock.
I thought for sure you did.
I've had Flint Dibble on, not Graham Hancock.
I know you had that. People hate Flint Dibble.
People love to hate Flint Dibble.
Okay, I hate Flint Dibble
He makes
too.
himself easily
Fuck
hateable.
Flint Dibble. I hate that son of a bitch.
Oh, that's mean. I don't hate him. I actually liked him. I actually enjoyed talking to him. I understand where he's coming from.
No, you don't. You hate him.
I don't hate him.
No, just joking. No, but people, Jesus Christ, the amount of hate for Flint Dibble.
There's amount of
but
hate.
I can understand it. I mean, he's a buzzkill. He's a buzzkill.
Yeah, he tried to say that Graham was a fucking Nazi because he believed that the pyramids.
Well, that's where he fucked up big time.
Yeah.
He shouldn't have done that.
Retarded.
He shouldn't have done that. Well, yeah, I know.
Apparently, Dibble's got a super hot wife.
Bullshit.
I swear to God, I heard this.
I don't believe that.
Find it. See if you can find it.
Hey, get this. McGovern, in the Immortality Key, one of the main characters is Patrick McGovern, who was at University of Pennsylvania,
Yeah.
who started that archaeobotany shit to where you take, where's your little vessel at? To where you take the vessels. To where you take the vessels. And McGovern actually
Look
created
at his wife.
Okay, Dibble has a hot wife. Damn it, Dibble's a smart son of a bitch.
He's smarter. He's really hung. One of the two.
Well, he's got a pretty big smile on his face. All right, I fuck with
His
him,
wife's
Dibble.
beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. No, that doesn't surprise me. He's a very smart person. His dad was a distinguished archaeologist. He named the kids Flint and Chip.
That's funny. That's why his dad was an archaeologist and named
His dad
him.
was an archaeologist
Yeah, yeah.
who worked with Pat McGovern, and Flint worked under McGovern, who just died.
Oh, wow.
Who was one of the main people in the Immortality Queue, who then renounced the book.
Yeah.
I documented. Yeah.
Dude, you know these vessels were debunked?
What do you mean?
So I had a guy on the show who
Is this from ancient Egypt?
this is a 3D print of an ancient Egyptian vessel. That these are all granite and they were measured in 3D light scanners.
Yeah.
And they were proved to be so goddamn symmetrical it's impossible to make them with chisels and pounding stones, like they say.
Oh, so you're saying that it's unexplained how it was made?
Well, the conventional consensus from Egyptologists is
Why
that
aren't we drinking out of these?
right, you put some fucking blue lotus lily in there and you get fucked up.
Well, you don't want to
Go
drink.
meet Dionysus.
Are
and
you going to
Echidna.
drink the recipe that the Hillman? We'll just call the
Theriac?
No, not
I
the
ain't drinking
Theriac.
no Theriac.
Remember the article that you pull up?
Oh yeah, the University of Tampa.
Yeah.
Vaginal fluid and blood.
Yeah.
And all
cup
kinds
of Bess.
The cup of Bess.
We
Yeah.
only drink that straight from the tap.
Yes. I'm not drinking that shit secondhand. I promise you that.
It goes bad after about 12 hours.
Yes.
and then
Oh
just-
my God.
you know
Jesus
what I mean?
Christ. I didn't want to think about that.
All right, we're all.
So yeah, no,
canceled.
I had a guy in here who was like a nuclear physicist, right?
Yeah.
And he found out that like so the Egyptians, the conventional explanation is that they had pounding stones and copper chisels
to make those.
in the dynastic Egyptian period.
Okay.
And they found these perfectly symmetrical granite fucking things with these little handles that are built into them, right?
Yeah.
So people are like, how did they do that? They must have had some crazy advanced technology to make this stuff,
Yeah.
right? Because it's so perfect, like it was making it on a CNC
Yeah.
machine. A guy came on and found out that all of the ones that are granite that are perfect were modern.
Yeah. What do you think? Who do you think the ancient Egyptians were? I mean, do you think?
Oh my
Do you think they were super advanced?
I think they were probably ancient humans who are more advanced than us now.
Yeah, but more advanced in what sense? Intelligent?
More advanced as
I mean, that don't take
as far
much.
as like a technological. They weren't using combustion and,
Yeah.
and electricity.
Yeah.
They were on another trajectory than us.
Right.
They had a different understanding of
Right.
the world and physics than we do.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's possible. And then the Younger Dryas happened 11,500 years ago, wiped them out. Some of them maybe escaped.
Yeah.
And some of them maybe there's a breakaway civilization and maybe they're the aliens.
Yeah. Did you see? I hate to.
I had this guy Jeffrey Drummond, bro, who lives in Egypt now, and he has this crazy hypothesis on how all the pyramids were.
What?
The whiskey's hitting right now. How all the pyramids
See,
were.
this is our invention from Kentucky.
Yes.
Yeah. We're like basically ancient Egypt of America.
pretty damn close.
We got bluegrass, whiskey, horse racing, and tobacco. Dude, tobacco will get you fucked up.
I don't fuck with tobacco too much.
Dude, if you eat tobacco, when you work in tobacco, when I was in high school, I worked in tobacco.
Yeah.
Cut tobacco, strip it, hang it,
Yeah.
dry out.
Yeah.
It makes you sick. You get what's called tobacco poisoning. 'Cause
Really?
yeah, because you're getting it. You get it all over your hands and you're covered in it, and then it seeps into your skin, and it
wow.
makes you fucking. It makes you hallucinate. You know,
Yeah, your skin's an organ.
the shaman. Yeah, it's the biggest organ in your whole body. The shamans. In South America, the biggest drug is the ayahuasca thing is teeny, 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 tiny. The biggest drug is tobacco.
Yeah.
Tobacco shamanism. It will get you fucked up as LSD.
Really?
I'm not joking.
Tobacco.
But you get sick. You get fucking sick. It makes you sick as hell. And you can do it with those. I've done it with dip, cigarettes. You can
When
get
I
really
was,
fucked up, but it's everywhere. I mean, it used to be bigger in Kentucky. When they started this anti-smoking campaign and try to lie and say that it kills you, it killed a lot of the industry in Western Kentucky. They don't do it. It's like alcohol now. Don't do it. It's horrible, blah, blah, blah. You can see how...
now we're sucking on car batteries. Vape.
Hey, remember Bill Hicks? He's like, look, at least cigarettes and alcohol, we know what they do. He's like,
right.
With these new drugs, you don't know. He's like, it's going to be like, what was that? Man, you're too young to remember, but there used to be this shop in the mall that sold like futuristic devices and shit. It was
really?
Yeah, it was like an Apple store, but they sold like air filters and all this bullshit.
The one that sold all the massage shit, like the massage chairs.
Yes.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Radio Shack?
No, bro. It was called like something Stone.
Yeah, God, it's right on the tip of my tongue. But this was the Bill Hicks joke. He's like, it's gonna be like when I die. He's like, fucking, there's gonna be all kinds. They don't know. Who knows? What the fuck. God damn it.
What were we talking about?
Do you like Bill Hicks?
I love Bill Hicks. Yeah. He's one of my favorites.
Yeah, he's hilarious. You like George Carlin?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Remember we were talking about 9/11? Did you know he had a special that was going to come on 9/11? And it was called, I think this is my favorite name for a comedy special ever. They ended up renaming it You Were All Diseased. It's his last special.
Really?
The original name, and it was going to come out on 9/11, was called I Kind of Like It When a Lot of People Die.
Whoa. What year?
And there's a joke on it. There you go.
I kind of like it when a lot of people die.
And there's a joke on it about the fucking plane exploding.
No
Swear
way.
to God. Look, on the nights of September 9th and 10th, I swear to God. And he makes a joke about a plane crash, about somebody farting in a plane and exploding.
No way.
Yes. In the set, Osama bin Laden. Come think about that. You say Alex Jones is prophetic. Look at that.
Oh my God.
They shouldn't have changed it. They shouldn't have changed it.
They changed it?
They changed the name of the special. Yeah.
Oh, but it's available. You can hear it.
Yeah, you can, but I think it's called You Were All Diseased.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's true.
Talk about fucking pushing the envelope, bro.
Oh my God, he was fucking incredible. I was gonna go see him in DC right before he died, and I was like, no, okay, it was the last one. It wasn't You Were All Diseased. I kind of like it. So it was after that. So is it released? You Were All Diseased is fucking hilarious.
Yeah, that's a different one.
Oh, this one's hilarious. Go down a little bit. What is the material? Parenting, religion is just fucking incredible.
That is wild. Anyways, what I was saying about the Egyptian bases with this guy has this theory that all the pyramids were like chemical manufacturing plants trying to extract like the natural resources of the earth for like agriculture and metallurgy, which is like kind of a middle of the road, boring alternative theory. Like not tombs, but not like free energy fucking alien power plants.
Right.
You know? And he cited a study from NASA for like going to Mars or the moon. And what they said on the NASA website was like, before we colonize the moon or Mars, we need to figure out how to install factories on the moon or Mars to utilize the natural resources of that planet or celestial body. So we don't have to just ship everything out there. We can just create stuff there.
That's a great idea.
And he's like, dude, that's what the pyramids are. He's like, he's reverse engineered them to show how they were developed to create sulfur and ammonia.
And who was this?
This guy named Jeffrey Drum.
And is he alive?
Oh yeah, he's a young dude.
Call him up.
That's amazing. He was just on here. We just did like a fucking 12-hour podcast.
Was it all about the pyramids?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's incredible. Mm-hmm. Have you seen Total Recall? Yeah, that's a fucking killer movie. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Was that based on Philip K. Dick? That's based on Philip K. Dick.
I think so.
Yeah, that's fucking incredible. Dude, Arnold in his prime was off the motherfucking chain.
Oh, yeah.
He was fucking incredible. You ever had Arnold on here?
Fuck no, never had Arnold. I would love to have Arnold on here.
You've had a lot of big people
I'm a huge Arnold fan.
Yeah, I know. He's fucking... Have you watched Conan the Barbarian recently?
No.
Well, you know... Dude, it's fucking incredible.
Recently? Yeah, matter of fact, I watched it last week.
Hey, I watched it like a year ago. You know, one of the amazing things about it is it's all it's all fake, but it's supposed to be pagan cults. And who's the black guy with the great, not Louis Gossett Jr., but he died like a year ago. He's in the movie. He's the lead of the snake cult. And the snake cult is like this Hillman thing. And so in Conan, this is who he's up against, and he ends up killing him.
Is that Mako?
No. What the hell is his name? He's got glasses. He's like, one of the most, he's fucking incredible. He's legendary. He's a black guy. He's got glasses. It's not Louis Gossett Jr. It's not Lawrence Fishburne. It's, I'll think of his name. But one of the cool things about it is you watch it, and it's based in, like, it's supposed to be, it's fake, or whatever. It's not like a historically accurate movie. Yeah. But he's the head of like this snake cult. And so when you go in, it's like this pagan temple, and he's got on this snake. Where's that? There he is, James Earl Jones.
Oh, James Earl Jones, yeah.
Dude, I'm not joking. Hey, and in the beginning of the movie, the very first frame, and this is another thing I learned. I'm telling you, you got to rewatch it. You know who wrote the movie? Oliver Stone.
No.
Yes. I swear to fucking God, Oliver Stone is one of the writers of the movie. What? Look it up. Yes. Look it up.
Oh my God. Go to the top.
Told you.
Right there.
Written by Oliver Stone. And the first frame of the movie, I thought this was a garbage ass movie. The first frame of the movie is a quote by Nietzsche.
No way.
It's fucking awesome.
Did you see Oliver Stone's interview with Putin? The Putin interviews?
Yes. I met Oliver Stone.
Really?
Yes.
You know who wasn't in the Epstein files?
Who? Oliver Stone?
Vladimir Putin.
Oh, I know. I love how now they're like, Epstein was an agent of the Russians. Anytime there's anything that's definitively the United States and Israel, automatically it becomes Russia.
Yep.
It's so fake. Mm-hmm. It's like, yeah, he's a Russian agent. Yeah, I met when Oliver Stone came out with Untold History of the United States.
Oh yeah,
I was going to University of Baltimore, which is like an inner city school, and I was taking a degree program. And our teacher was one of the writers on Untold History of the United States, which was either Showtime or HBO. And so he said, Oliver Stone's coming to the class. Next door, because we're right by D.C., we're 30 minutes from D.C. This is when Obama was in office. Eric Holder was there. So Eric Holder's next door, who was the Attorney General under Obama.
Yeah.
Oliver Stone is in the class, and he led us all down to the Charles Theater in Baltimore to watch Untold History of the United States. So I'm at the bathroom in the Charles Theater. I'm taking a piss. They have these old-timey troughs, and I'm wearing boots like I'm wearing now. And piss was, it's like a trough, and piss was splattering on my boot, and I moved my foot over, and I looked over, and it was Oliver Stone.
Pissing on your feet?
Like, yes. I was like, damn, Oliver Stone's pissing on me. All right, I don't mind. It's Oliver Stone.
Wow. That's a great story.
And then he showed the Untold History of the United States, and they had a panel of academics, and it's real far. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's very.
I've seen it.
It's super left-wing, like anti-American. Yeah. I'm not saying it's not true.
Yeah.
But I think probably a lot of it is true.
Yeah.
But that's what it is. And there was a panel of academics, and you're in Baltimore, D.C., so Johns Hopkins is there. It's a serious academics. And they got into the biggest argument, and this guy stormed off stage, and it was incredible.
Really?
It was incredible. It was incredible. Yeah, Oliver Stone, he was one of the people that, one of the only people I've ever seen, I was like, damn, this motherfucker is a superstar. Like, he just seemed cool as hell. I mean, his movies are next level. I've always been surprised that, Quentin Tarantino wrote, have you seen Natural Born Killers?
A long time ago.
Well, Quentin Tarantino wrote it, but then Stone directed it, and Tarantino hated it.
Really?
Yes, and Trent Reznor did the soundtrack.
What?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Tarantino wrote it as, it's the Woody Harrelson character is based on Manson. And so some of the stuff is almost verbatim Manson stuff.
Yeah. I got to rewatch this.
And he was very mad about what it came out as. Tarantino hated it. Said, oh, he ruined the movie, da-da-da-da. But I think it's incredible. I love that movie.
What year did that come out? Natural Born Killers?
What, 94? Look it up, probably 94. But then Trent Reznor did the soundtrack, and you got Leonard Cohen, Dr. Dre, and Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
The Cowboy Junkies. That was shit. That was all. What year is it? 94? Yeah,
94, wow.
Man, that opening scene, holy shit.
I gotta rewatch this.
I think it's one of the great, great American films. Juliette Lewis.
Yeah.
I saw her at Ozfest once.
I couldn't stand it. After 20 minutes, I turned it off.
Really?
You're kidding.
Yeah. No, absolutely not.
Why?
I think it was so boring.
What?
To me, it was just so boring and it didn't make any sense, and it was really pissing me off.
Okay, so you're in the Tarantino camp.
I guess so. I don't
Steven,
know.
okay, so on one side we got Steve and Tarantino. Who else is going to join? Son of a bitch. Oh yeah, Robert Downey Jr. He's the reporter. He's the He plays Geraldo.
Right.
I was there when this shit went down in Grenada. Yeah, I think it's a fucking great movie.
Well, Travis, we just did almost 4 hours, bro.
That's it?
Yeah.
Right on.
We got anything else we should fucking light on fire before we end the podcast?
I don't know. I don't think so.
No?
I don't think so.
What's the future of your reporting? What do you got on the horizon? What are you looking into?
I got a piece coming out with the Wall Street Journal in April on the country singer Gary Stewart. He was born in Eastern Kentucky. He died in Fort Pierce, Florida. He committed suicide in Fort Pierce, Florida, which is not far from here, a couple of hours, in the early 2000s. Mm-hmm. And there's a new book about him called, everybody should go get it. It's called I Am the Honky Tonks. And it's by Jimmy McDonough, who's one of the greatest music journalists, reporters of our time. And so I'm writing about that for the Wall Street Journal.
Wow.
So that's the next thing I've got coming out. That's what I'm working on right now. The book's like 500 pages, but it's he's incredible. If you're into country music, check out Gary Stewart. He was band leader of Charlie Pride, who was the first black superstar in country music. Mm-hmm. And it's a weird ass story. I'm telling you, this is not some boring like Blake Shelton. If you're thinking country music like that shit, this ain't what I'm talking about.
Right.
This is old timey honky tonk when the country singers were more like gangster rappers.
Really?
Yeah. And the book is
more
called,
like Hank 3 type shit?
Yeah, exactly. Yep, exactly.
None of that gay pop country?
Exactly. So that's what I'm working on, is this review of I Am the Honky Tonk. So everybody should go out and buy it. You can buy it online. It's fucking incredible. It's published by Wolf and Salmon, which is an independent publisher out of California. Mm-hmm. The publishing industry, I don't think, was like chomping at the bit to publish about an obscure Eastern Kentucky country singer who committed suicide in Fort Pierce. But that's what I'm working on. And then I've got a book that's coming out called The Immortality Con, how religious fanatics hijacked the psychedelic renaissance. Thank you to Rick Strassman for giving me the title.
The Immortality Con.
I've got a publisher. It's coming out.
No, you don't.
Yes,
You're full
I do.
of shit, bro.
No, of course I do. I'm 2 years past my deadline, but I already got my advance, and yeah, of course I got a publisher. And yeah.
Wait, are you being serious?
I'm dead serious.
You're coming out with a book called The Immortality Con.
It's called The Immortality Con, How Religious Fanatics Hijacked the Psychedelic Renaissance, and the title was given to me by Rick Strassman.
Wow.
It's 80,000 words, and it's the real story of the psychedelic renaissance, of which nobody will come on the Danny Jones show and debate me on, because they all know that I'm telling the truth.
I need to know more.
Well, I mean,
Did you interview Marescu about this?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I talked to Marescu before I published anything. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. I talked to him about his book before I published anything. Mm-hmm. So I don't think he's a fan of my reporting.
So you interviewed all the people that were a part of his book? All the people that were sources and stuff?
All of them. I was there when the psychedelic renaissance started because I volunteered for a study at Johns Hopkins. And so it includes extensive interviews with every major player in the psychedelic renaissance: Rick Doblin, Roland Griffiths, Carl Ruck. I told Stephen I spent a week at Carl's house last year.
Oh, yeah.
Up in Boston. And Carl Ruck took me to Plymouth Rock. And if you go to the museum, we went to the Museum for Plymouth Rock, and to have a mythographer on hand is very handy because
a mythographer. You mean Carl?
Yeah, Carl. Yeah, he's a mythographer. You know, they used to call it a mythographer. That's what they used to call somebody who scientifically looked into myths, like ancient Greek myths,
ancient texts.
They used to call it a mythographer.
Really?
Before a classicist.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, they called it a mythographer.
What was he saying about Plymouth Rock? Satan put it there?
No, I would love to. I wish we could project some of I've got all the pictures on my phone and videos, and I wish we could put them up because I could show.
You can send them to Steve.
I have a video of me and Carl at Plymouth Rock with the original Plymouth Rock. And I was like, there was somebody there at the museum. I was like, is this the original Plymouth Rock? And they were like, look, there's a crack down the middle. They were like, we hired these Irish people to move it, and they were drunk and dropped it.
Oh my God.
I was like, so they dropped the Plymouth Rock and broke it. And it's broke into two pieces. And then we went to an Irish bar and got drunk and talked about Albert Hoffman, Gordon Wasson, and, talking about, I'm always very curious, that's what this book is about. So
right.
Yes, I interviewed every major figure and minor figure from the psychedelic renaissance, and that's what's going into, and boiled it down into 80,000 words. Mm-hmm. I sent Steve the text, the one of the big things from the book, which is one of the big revelations. The problem that I had,
You got it?
You got it? You want to show it? And I'll explain this real quick.
Is this it?
Yeah, that's it. So,
given the holy meeting with Pope Francis, you go ahead, you read it.
Okay, so go to the top, Steve. Okay, I'm going to read. Do you see the initials up there? Everybody knows what a text chain is. That's Bob Jesse, the architect of the psychedelic renaissance.
Naughty Bob Jesse?
Naughty Bob Jesse. RG, that's Roland Griffiths from Johns Hopkins University School of Medicine. That's Brian Muraresku, author of the best-selling Immortality Con. And that's Anthony Tony Bossis, psychedelic scientist. And they threatened to sue me over this, and now I'm showing it. They said I didn't have a legal right to show this, but I do. And given that the holy meeting with Pope Francis Rohr, that's Richard Rohr, and our Jesuit brother Brian was themed around Thomas Merton from Kentucky, I'll close tonight with one of the greatest letters of the 20th century, when we wrote actual letters from Huxley to Merton on psychedelics. This is a famous letter which we could look up. It's worth reading. Mm-hmm. It's more like a sermon than a letter. The letter is as relevant today as in 1959, maybe more. What this shows is that Johns Hopkins University was collaborating with Brian Muraresku and other psychedelic scientists, and they used human volunteers in order to fulfill a spiritual mission, which was that they believe very deeply that psychedelic experiences are the common core of all religions, and they drafted people into Johns Hopkins University under false pretenses and used these human volunteers, and they got into deep shit over it. And this has never been published ever. I almost published it in Reason magazine, and they wanted to publish it, but I wouldn't let them.
Why wasn't it published?
Well, last time I came on your show, I was promoting 2 articles I wrote for Reason magazine. One called The Strange Case of the Immortality Key, one called The Most Controversial Paper in the History of Psychedelic Research May Never See the Light of Day. Mm-hmm. And these were leaks by someone within the organization, and they told me, don't print this. And then later I sent it to Bob Jesse and Anthony Bossis, and I asked them I said, why, if this is a scientific study, why were you collaborating? Why were you setting up a meeting with the Pope? This is Pope Francis. This actually happened. The
guys who did the Johns Hopkins study had a meeting with Pope Francis.
No, the Muraresku, who was part of their group, they sent him as an ambassador.
Oh.
I have the picture in my
I know, I remember you showed me that.
You've seen the picture.
I've seen it, yeah.
So what they were trying to do, if this isn't clear, is they wanted Pope Francis and tried to convince Pope Francis that in the Eucharist, for all Catholic churches around the world, that they should use a psychedelic drug.
Stop.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it was.
That's what they were trying to tell him, convince him?
Yeah. It didn't work. I mean, he died, but.
Right.
But that was the point, yeah. And so what you're seeing.
For what? To what ends?
Because they are under the belief that we were, which is when you take psychedelics and you go, if only everybody else could do this. So if you believe 2 things. One, the origin of the Catholic Church and the origin of Christianity is in psychedelic drugs. Mm-hmm. Number 2, if only everybody did this, it would heal them and things would become clear to them like it was to you, me, everybody that's done this. And so they thought, we need to find a way to spread the use of psychedelics. And they came to the conclusion that the Catholic Church would be a useful tool in order to spread the use of this drug. Now, when I said this on your first podcast, people would complain and go, "Oh, they're trying to save the world," and you're like, "Actually, blah 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 blah."
Is that what they said?
Yeah, of course. So it's like, look, if you don't know that utopian projects end in oceans of blood, you're staggeringly ignorant of the past 100 years of history. The Soviet Union was a utopian project that humans could engineer their own future. I should say this. It's very important for Americans to know, who are seriously uneducated. Look at the history of the Russian Revolution and the history of the Bolsheviks. These are people that wanted to get rid of religion and believed that human beings could engineer their own future into a utopia. It ended in oceans of blood. The Nazi experiment was something similar. Don't fall into the trap that Elon Musk and other people are trying to bring us into, that human beings are so smart. Accept limits and acknowledge limits to human intelligence and say the best thing we can do is be extremely cautious. The mystery surrounding our lives is probably not reducible by very much. And so the question of how to act in ignorance is paramount. Does that make sense? The question of how to act in ignorance, if you acknowledge limits to human intelligence and you say, look, we ought to be real careful. It's the same intelligence that tells you this. Hey, we're going to go down into Venezuela. Do you know what they got going on down there? Not really, but we're gonna storm. We're gonna do our thing. If you don't know much about what you don't know, you ought to be real motherfucking careful, because you might get your ass smoked. And you have to be extremely careful. The mystery surrounding our lives is probably not reducible by very much. And so the question of how to act in ignorance, is paramount. Does that make sense, Danny?
Yes, I think it does.
It's the message of psychedelics. This is what I will advance.
Yeah.
At risk of embarrassing myself. This is what I believe is the message of psychedelics. We don't know very much about what's going on.
Right.
We don't really know that much. We don't know this mystery that we're surrounded by. We don't really know what's going on. And so we ought to be very careful. What we shouldn't do is act in extremely arrogant and strident ways. What we should do is go, yeah, there's a piece of cheese sitting over there in the middle of that trap, but I ain't going to be, you know what they used to say when I was little? When in doubt, send a scout.
Right.
I ain't going to be the scout. And I don't think we should be. I think we should be extremely careful about what we're doing. And I think when you try to overcome limits, what could be hard limits of humanity, we might be at a place to where technology can't get us out of the trouble that we're in. And so we may want to have a little humility. Just a suggestion. Just a suggestion. Maybe we should try something different than we've tried in the past.
Yeah.
Maybe we should try being sober. This is ironic.
Very ironic.
But have a little bit of humility and say, what we've been trying hasn't worked, so we might want to back off this a little bit.
Yeah.
You see?
Right.
But what the tendency of our time is creative destruction. Fuck it. Let's just unleash it and just see what happens. You see?
Yeah.
Social engineering projects work like this. You traffic the idea through the media and academic institutions who are dumb as hell, and then you have it rubber stamped by psychiatry. That's what happened with psychedelics, and this is what's happened with, I'm very hesitant to even mention it, gender medicine, what they call gender medicine. There's no scientific proof.
Like hormone therapy?
Yes. There's no scientific proof that it helps anyone. In fact, most of it's contrary. Most of it says that it's damaging and risky, but we just keep going anyway.
Yeah.
My suggestion is that we shouldn't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Maybe we should say.
I think a lot of people would agree with you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway, whatever.
I think you're onto something, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're definitely onto something.
Yeah. Hey, I am from the honky tonks. Thank you, Steve. Hey, pull that up if you don't mind, and then I'll shut up. Would you show the Amazon page for I am from the honky tonks?
Gary Stewart.
Gary motherfucker.
I am from the honky tonk.
Dude, look at that picture.
Look at those pants, bro.
Dude, this is one of the baddest.
Zoom in on this guy.
Zoom in on him.
Wow.
What has he got, an orange?
Peeling a mandarin?
Hey, this is the baddest country singer perhaps that America has ever produced. If we have redemption, if there is redeeming of this country, and redemption, I mean from the ignorance and the vacuousness, America has created the most rich and beautiful culture that's ever been created, because there's never been a multicultural society like, well, there has. I mean, ancient Greece, but there's never been anything created like American country music.
Right.
Gary Stewart, Jerry Lee Lewis,
right,
Johnny Cash. I mean, do you know the amount of influences that come together in order to create something like that? I mean, you listen to American country music and you go, holy shit, there's gospel music, there's blues, there's Scots-Irish fiddle music, there's so many different influences that come together in something that's seemingly singular that you just go, wow. So there's a lot, I guess my point is this, there's a lot to be proud of in this country. There's a lot of beautiful things, and we shouldn't just throw it all away for convenience.
Yeah. Well said, man. That's a great way to wrap this up.
Thank you, sir.
All right, everybody. You know where to find him. We'll link your stuff below.
Thank you very much.
Good night, world.